permanent solution to Kashmir when he was Home Minister. While his visits in Jammu and Kashmir, nobody believed what he's talking. Then in 2019, he saw their version of permanent solution was revoke Article 370, make Jammu and Kashmir a union territory. That happened. That was their view. So it looks like Rajnath Singh doesn't make a statement. He never makes a statement without a proper thought. So he made the statement in Jammu and Kashmir while addressing a rally that that India is ready for talks from with Pakistan. Only thing Pakistan has to do stop aiding terrorism. That is what, in fact, the regional parties, when they are talking about talk to Pakistan, their only aim is that they want that the violence, militancy should end in Jammu and Kashmir, because it is the people of Kashmir who bear the brand of militancy. But hours after Rajnath Singh, this, some would say, reconciliatory or talking of the friend, there was another infiltration attempt which we reported earlier. During the overnight operation, 2 infiltrators have been killed in Nowshera sector.
Right. We also have Ghazali joining us. Ghazali, Rajnath Singh went on to say you can change a friend, but you can't change a neighbor, and which is why stressing on the fact that how it's very important to maintain relations with the neighboring countries.
See, this is not India's new stand. We heard it back in '99 when Mr. Vajpayee was the Prime Minister. He also had the same line, or the foreign policy back then also said the same thing, that perhaps you can't change your neighbors, you can change your friends. And what Pakistan has been doing, as Nazir was rightly pointing out, hours after Rajnath Singh made that statement that if Pakistan stops pushing for terrorism, supporting terrorism, then only we will be ready for the talks. And we see what is happening in Nowshera sector in Jammu, that Indian Army has foiled an infiltration bid there. So certainly Pakistan is not backing down. With the recent activities, if you see in the last few months, terror activities and attempts of infiltration have increased in Jammu region. And also in the recent past, we saw Foreign Minister Mr. Jaishankar also saying so that entire era of talks is over until Pakistan stops peddling terrorism in India. We have seen troubled states like Punjab and Jammu and Kashmir, that how Pakistan has been sending drugs, counterfeit currency, infiltration, using drones to drop these things into Indian territory. And surprisingly and interestingly, being a host country of SCO summit, it has also extended invitation to India, though India has not decided yet whether Prime Minister Modi will visit Pakistan or not. And since Uri attack, since all those military operations in Jammu and Kashmir, we have seen that the talks have not progressed further. So it's a stern message as well, though it's a softening of stand as well, but it's a very direct message to Pakistan to stop abetting terror, stop pushing infiltration into Indian territory, and then perhaps both the neighbors will sit for talks and dialogue.
Right. Thank you so much, Nazir. Ghazali, just stay with us for our next story as well. And this is in regard to Pakistan, and let's just get you. Leaders rallied on the outskirts of Islamabad on Sunday, demanding the immediate release of their founder Imran Khan, while criticizing the government for marginalizing the party as the police fired tear gas in order to disperse of the crowd. The party was staging that rally on Sunday to gain support for Imran Khan's release, who has been in prison since last year. And we have Ghazali joining us. Ghazali, thousands of supporters managed to find their way, even though they were being blocked. These thousands of supporters of Pakistan's former Prime Minister who gathered in Islamabad despite authorities attempting to block the protesters' main route into the capital.
Yeah, and this PTI, the party of Imran Khan, had been planning to organize this big rally in Islamabad, in the national capital, but they were not getting clearances, NOC from the district administration. And finally, when they received it, perhaps there was also some kind of restriction that they have to leave the venue of the rally by 7 p.m. in the evening. But that didn't happen, and that is when clash between the PTI supporters and police happened. Many senior police officials, including the superintendent of police of the district, was also injured. We saw the visuals that how tear gas shelling happened on these protesters, and PTI accused the government of sort of suppressing this protest. And later they also criticized the government for suppressing the protest, not allowing the protesters to express themselves. And this has been happening for a while, and we know that Mr. Imran Khan, the party chief, has been facing more than 200 cases. In one case, if he gets acquittal, then that acquittal is challenged and he stays behind the bars. Mr. Imran Khan has shown no interest of sitting down with the government, but he wants to reconcile as well. His supporters, his party leaders were largely trying to organize this gathering for the first time in the national capital. That did happen, but happened with the violence, and that certainly shows the kind of internal turmoil our neighboring country is struggling with for the last many months.
Right, Ghazali, thank you so much for joining us with those details. And with that, we're slipping into a very short break. Back with a whole lot more on the other side. To stay with us.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
New day, new show, a new experience.
Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter.
And impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
To the seat of power, Delhi.
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV. 8 a.m. every day.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come, donate. Let's rebuild Wayanad.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. 10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones. And now I have a plan to beat the urgency, to stop breathing with difficulty, to relieve getting choked with inactivity. Energize our government, our environment, our society, and ourselves. Everyone, everywhere, every day. Banega.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts.
Welcome back. Let's get you the latest from Haryana. The Congress on Sunday released a list of 9 candidates for the Haryana Assembly polls, fielding Brajendra Singh from Ochana Kalan and Mohit Grover from Gurugram. With this list, the Congress has declared a total of 41 candidates for the polls to the 90-member Assembly. The Congress, to remember, on Friday had declared 32 candidates for the polls, fielding former Chief Minister Bhupinder Singh Hooda as well as former wrestler Vinesh Fogart from Jalana. And let's just switch tracks to the Aam Aadmi Party, where Raghav Chadha of the Aam Aadmi Party has said that if it's not a win-win situation, that there will be no alliance as far as the Aam and the Congress is concerned. Do remember that the Haryana alliance decision needs to be taken before the 12th of September. So the Aam flexing its muscles with the Congress unwilling to concede as far as the Hooda seat is concerned. The Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party's deliberation of the seat sharing continues after the Congress has said that they aim to limit the Aam Aadmi Party to a single digit. Now, Raghav Chadha has come out and said that the party must rethink its alliance with the Congress. Remember, Haryana heads to polls on the 5th of October. Let's listen in to Raghav Chadha.
कौन सी सीटें होंगी, कितनी सीटें होंगी, इस पे बॉल बाय बॉल कमेंट्री नहीं की जा सकती। अलायंस करने के लिए आरजू भी है, हसरत भी है, उम्मीद भी है। आखिरी तारीख नॉमिनेशन की 12 तारीख है। 12 तारीख से पहले फैसला ले लेंगे और अगर मन नहीं मिले या अगर विन विन सिचुएशन नहीं हुआ तो फिर छोड़ देंगे।
हाँ, देखिए, दोनों दलों के अंदर भय है, दोनों भ्रष्टाचार की दलदल में फंसे हुए हैं। हरियाणा की जनता ने तय कर लिया है, चाहे कांग्रेस एक गठबंधन करे, चाहे कांग्रेस 10 गठबंधन करे, कांग्रेस का सुपड़ा साफ होने वाला है। हरियाणा में भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार तीसरे बार बड़े मैंडेट के साथ बन रही है।
Well, for the last so many days, we have seen Aam Aadmi Party and Congress, they are holding multiple meetings to discuss the political strategy. But what we have learned from inside sources, they say there's a seat sharing problem which is going between the Congress and Aam Aadmi Party. One side, we have seen Aam Aadmi Party has been demanding 10 seats from the Congress as an ally partner, whereas the Congress is not interested to give them 10. They are trying to give only 5 to 7 seats. We have seen and we have also heard Raghav Chadha, he's saying they are trying to hold a multiple discussions, and anytime the positive news can come about the alliance, and we have time till 12th of this month because nomination is going to be filed till the 12th of September. But as of now, we have seen there is a lot of pressure on both the parties, whether it's the Aam Aadmi Party or the Congress Party, from their workers. We have seen some of the leaders from Delhi, they have also come to fore and they have been claiming there is need to go into detail before forging any alliance with Congress, because they want one workers want we should contest the election from all the 90 seats. That this is the same situation of the Congress as well as the Aam Aadmi Party also. Aam Aadmi Party is also getting a lot of pressure from the workers, saying we should contest independently, we should not forge alliance. But let's see that we have seen the central leadership and top leadership, they are holding multiple meetings. They are also trying to make a political strategy, how they are going to form this formula for the seat sharing. That is yet to be seen. If we can talk about all over politics in Haryana, we have seen after the list of the BJP, there are a lot of rebels who have come very vocally against the party, and same situation we have seen in Congress also. Some of the leaders, they have been demanding that there is no need to give ticket to the outsider, because those workers who have been working in their constituencies, we need to consider their application instead of bringing outsiders. So let's see that how after BJP, how the Congress is going to combat with this position, and whether these people who are raising flag against the party, they will damage during the Haryana polls or not. How the Congress is going to make a political strategy to pacify all these leaders, that is yet to be seen. Back to studio.
Right, thank you so much, Gurpreet, for joining us with those details. Switching tracks to Karnataka now, and the Chief Minister Siddaramaya's petition challenging the governor's sanction for his prosecution in the Muda scam continues to be heard at the High Court after a set of arguments presented by the council representing the respondents. The Solicitor General is said to present his arguments while representing the governor. The hearing is likely to end after Siddaramaya's counsel Abhishek Singhvi presents his closing arguments, which is likely to be scheduled for the 12th of this month. While all Congress leaders maintain that Siddaramaya will continue in his post, some have chosen to weigh in for the top post in the event of a change in leadership. We have my colleague Pratibha joining us to get us more on this. Pratibha, even though we've heard the Chief Minister saying that he has done nothing wrong, and senior leaders all supporting him, including DK Shiv Kumar, but now a second name is being considered just in case there's a change of guard.
Well, yes, there have been a lot of Congress leaders who have been issuing statements talking about seniority in the event of leadership change, and some of them also talking about how they would also love to be presenting or sitting in the CM's throne in the event of a leadership change. However, all of them have been relentlessly maintaining that the Chief Minister Siddaramaya has done nothing wrong in this, and that he would continue in the Chief Minister's post for quite a long time. But however, all eyes are on the High Court's hearing, because we are talking of the Solicitor General representing the Governor, who would be presenting his arguments today. And it is likely to continue on September 12th with the closing arguments of Abhishek Singhvi. This is definitely going to seal the fate of the Chief Minister as far as the Muda scam as well as his continuance in the Chief Minister's post is concerned. Back to you.
Right, Pratibha, thank you so much. All eyes on that crucial hearing that's coming up today. Moving on now, the tussle over the cuts as far as the movie Emergency is concerned. From what we're hearing now is that the film has got a green signal with the necessary cuts that have been made. The examining committee of the CBFC has given that green light to the film for a UA certification, provided that the filmmakers make a few changes and cuts. At least 3 cuts have been suggested. The makers have also been asked to clarify for a few controversial historical statements that have been made in order to clarify the sources of those statements that have been made in the film. So this comes at a time, as per the reports, that the makers have been asked to make some changes, and that is that the film will be given that UA certification, but no release date has been finalized yet. And India has reported its first suspected case of monkeypox. A man who returned to India from a country currently experiencing mpox transmission has been identified as a suspect case of monkeypox. The person has been isolated in a hospital and is currently stable. Samples from the person are being tested to confirm the presence of the virus. The case is being managed in line with the established protocols, and contact tracing is also being done in order to identify potential sources. And also, the Union Health Minister has assured that the country is fully prepared to deal with such isolated travel-related cases and has robust measures in place to manage and mitigate any potential risk. And heavy rainfall has been reported in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. The government has remained on high alert as far as heavy rainfall and downpour that has led to massive flooding in most parts of the states. Now, flood warning has been issued for several districts, and schools have been shut down in several districts of Andhra Pradesh. The Met Office has issued a warning for more heavy showers to continue over the next few days.
So it's been non-stop crisis mode in Andhra Pradesh over the last couple of weeks, I must say, with Mr. Chandrababu Naidu having been on the field, in fact, in the Vijayawada area. What happened earlier was actually affecting the NTR district, the Krishna district as we call it, the Vijayawada area, and that is where the flooding had happened. And what the government authorities are saying is that it was a once in a 100-year phenomenon, because of which we saw the kind of flooding that happened in Vijayawada. The number of deaths in this entire catastrophe has been put at 45 now, with 13 more bodies that were discovered yesterday, and NTR district has been one of the worst affected, with as many as 35 deaths there. What we do understand is that in this case, the Budameru Vagu, which flows via Vijayawada, the government has been saying that there have been breaches in that which were not paid attention to by the YSR government, and therefore the repair work was now undertaken by the army, and the government is alleging that there could have been a conspiracy because the boats belong to someone who is related to the YSR CP, and therefore there will be a full-fledged investigation on that. While all this is happening, a new system had developed in the Bay of Bengal, and as you mentioned, that system is going towards Odisha, North Odisha and West Bengal, and that's where it's expected to hit.
Right. Thank you so much, Uma, for getting us those details. A red alert warning has been issued for Andhra Pradesh, with an orange category warning for Telangana. Moving on now, the 54th GST Council meet will be held in New Delhi. The Council is expected to provide clarity on the continuation of the GST compensation cess. Sources suggest that the cess may extend well into 25-26. There will also be discussions on whether to eventually replace the cess with a tax or a new cess. The 54th GST Council meet will be held today in order to provide that clarification, and my colleague Rishabh Bhatnagar has all the details.
I'm at the Sushma Swaraj Bhavan, where the GST Council meet will be held later today. We'll have all sorts of state FMs and representative converge here and debate on what sort of tax rate rationalization should occur. and also on specific items if we'll see a tax reduction or a tax increase. What's on top of the mind though is the premium on life and health insurance. That is something that will be debated today. It's currently taxed at about 18%, and that is most likely to be reduced coming forward. We also saw that Union Minister Nitin Gadkari wrote to Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman asking for a removal of this 18% tax, stating that health insurance and life insurance is somewhat of a luxury to a common Indian still. And so a removal of this 18% tax would actually make it way more accessible for a bunch of Indians. More on the agenda, what we're expecting is a status report on online gaming. This will have all sorts of revenue implications for the government if they decide to cut on the 28% tax burden that is there on the online gaming sector in India. Now, the industry was up in arms against this sort of a heavy tax burden, and we'll see whether that is reviewed today. Apart from that, we'll also probably see GST on foreign airlines being reviewed and their operations in India being reviewed. Infosys could be another agenda topic that we'll see, given that they had received a demand of over 32,000 crores from the DGGI. So those are some of the top issues that we'll be seeing from the GST Council meet today.
And switching tracks now, the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi is scheduled to meet with Prime Minister Modi today and hold discussions on a wide range of areas of bilateral cooperation. This is Zayed Al Nahyan's first visit to India as the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, and he's accompanied by several ministers from the UAE government and a business delegation. He's also scheduled to call on President Draupadi Murmu and will visit the Rajghat to pay his tribute to Mahatma Gandhi.
A momentous occasion unfolds in New Delhi as the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, Sheikh Khalid bin Mohammed Al Nahyan, has arrived for a pivotal visit. This trip signifies not only a strengthening of ties but also marks the future leadership of the UAE, with Sheikh Khalid set to be the next king. The deepening bond between India and the UAE is exemplified by remarkable gestures of cooperation, such as the recent construction of Hindu temple in Abu Dhabi. A gesture of goodwill and mutual respect between the nations. The Indian diaspora, numbering over 3.5 million, plays a crucial role in the UAE, contributing significantly to its economy and cultural landscape. This vibrant community underscores the deep-rooted connections between our people. Trade between India and the UAE has surged, with bilateral exchanges reaching nearly $60 billion annually. This economic partnership extends to strategic investments and collaborations that are shaping the future. India is the second largest trading partner of UAE. UAE is India's largest trading partner in the Arab world. Total trade between India and UAE projected to reach $100 billion from $57 billion at present. UAE is fifth largest supplier of crude oil to India and accounts for about 8% of India's total crude imports. UAE ranks first among the destinations for India's exports in West Asia region. As a powerful player in the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, the UAE's support is vital for India in navigating regional challenges and balancing diplomatic pressures, particularly in relations with Pakistan. Sheikh Khalid's visit highlights the UAE's commitment to deepening economic and strategic ties with India, setting the stage for a future of enhanced collaboration under his forthcoming leadership. This visit not only reaffirms the strong partnership between the two countries, but also paves the way for a prosperous future. The growing alliance promises mutual benefits, reflecting the shared aspirations of India and the UAE.
UAE has emerged as a key anchor for India's Gulf outreach, and with this visit of Crown Prince Khalid, India is expecting to deepen its strategic ties with one of the most powerful nations in West Asia. With camera person Xavier, Mohammad Ghazali for NDTV.
Thank you so much, Ghazali, for getting us all those details. And switching tracks now to sports news. And Yannick Sinner capped a successful breakout here with a win in the US Open. He beat Taylor Fritz in the final on Sunday night. World #1 Sinner, who won his maiden slam at the Australian Open in January, produced a brutal display of baseline power as he became the first Italian man to win the US Open with 6-3, 6-4, 7-5. Sinner was under a cloud of controversy at the start of the tournament after revelations that he tested positive twice for an anabolic agent in March, but avoided a ban when an independent tribunal accepted his claim that the positive tests were the result of an unintentional contamination. And staying with sports news, nearly 2 years after the horrific car crash and near-death experience, Rishabh Pant is back to the Indian Test side again. He has been picked for the opening test versus Bangladesh that starts on the 19th of this month. Following a lengthy and arduous rehabilitation, Pant made a very strong comeback in the IPL before being picked for the successful T20 World Cup campaign. And with that, it's a wrap on this bulletin. News and updates will continue on the other side. To stay with us.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
And Mumbaikars are celebrating the 10-day festival of Lord Ganesha. Households and mandals are all decked up, installing different shapes and sizes of the Lord, while Ganpati mandals are welcoming lakhs of devotees every day. And it is the Lal Bokcha Raja that has been installed. It's idol inside a palace setting, and of course it is the Ganesh Gali that has fashioned a model of the Ujjain Mahakal Mandir. So this is the celebrations that continue over the next 8 days.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come, donate. Let's rebuild Wayanad.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. "10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones. And now I have a plan to beat the urgency, to stop breathing with difficulty, to relieve getting choked with inactivity. Energize our government, our environment, our society, and ourselves. Everyone, everywhere, every day. Banega Swasth India. One world hygiene.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate.
You are watching NDTV 24/7. It's 10 a.m. I'm Parmeshwar Bava. We've got an action-packed bulletin lined up for you over the next 1 hour. Let's begin with the headlines we're tracking currently. Rahul Gandhi attacks the BJP and the RSS in a speech in Texas on a 3-day tour in the US. In fact, Rahul Gandhi says the BJP and RSS ideology wants women to stay in the kitchen. As far as jobs are concerned, he has said that there's an unemployment crisis in India. Meanwhile, there's also been a warning issued as far as artificial intelligence is concerned. Defence Minister hints at conditional talks with Pakistan, but terms and conditions apply. Rajnath Singh says talks will only happen if Pakistan stops supporting terrorism. While Rajnath Singh has opened a door, the big question is, will Pakistan walk the distance? The Indian Army carries out anti-infiltration operations in Jammu and Kashmir. 2 terrorists have been killed while weapons have been recovered. A search operation is currently underway in Nowshera. Kolkata doctors' parents make a startling claim against the police in Kolkata. The Kolkata victims' parents accuse the police of a cover-up bid. In fact, they say the police tried to destroy evidence from the start. The Kolkata rape murder case is going to be heard in the top court today. A fresh spell of violence claims 12 lives in Manipur. A massive rally in strife-torn Manipur last evening as locals demanded action. Police used tear gas shells to disperse the large crowds. Our big focus. Rahul Gandhi, the leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha, has said that the fear of the BJP and Prime Minister Modi has faded among the people since the Lok Sabha election results. In fact, addressing the Indian diaspora in Dallas and Texas in the US, the Congress leader said that in his first speech in the parliament after the polls, he mentioned Abhaya Mudra, a symbol of fearlessness present in all Indian religions. He claimed that the BJP could not tolerate or understand this concept. In fact, Mr. Gandhi also said that the BJP's parent organization, the RSS, they believe India is one idea, while his party believes India is a multiplicity of ideas. In fact, Rahul Gandhi has clearly said, and I quote, that the BJP and the RSS ideology want women to stay in the kitchen. Listen in.
This is part of the ideological fight between the BJP and us, right? The BJP and the RSS believe that women should be restricted to a particular role. They should stay at home, they should cook the food, they should not talk too much, right? And we believe that women should be allowed to aspire to whatever they want to do.
Well, Rahul Gandhi has attacked the Prime Minister as well as the RSS on his 3-day touchdown in the United States. In fact, he said their fear vanished after the Lok Sabha results. He also had a warning for artificial intelligence and the IT industry. In fact, he's also flagged unemployment as a huge concern, clearly saying that skilling is not a problem, but it's an unemployment crisis that is not only seen in India, but also across nations like the United States. The leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, has clearly said that the fear of the Bharatiya Janata Party and Prime Minister Narendra Modi has faded among the people. This is ever since the Lok Sabha election results. He was addressing the Indian diaspora in Texas, where he said that in his first speech in the parliament after the polls, he mentioned a symbol of fearlessness present in all Indian religions, Abhaya Mudra. He claimed that the BJP could not tolerate or understand this. In fact, Rahul Gandhi also said that the BJP's parent organization, the RSS, clearly believes that India is one idea, while his party believes India is a multiplicity of ideas. For further clarity, we have with us Pradeep Bhandari joining us as the voice of the BJP, while we have Dr. Pooja Tripathi representing the Congress. I'd like to come to you first, Mr. Bhandari. Rahul Gandhi has contrasted his party's views with those of the BJP and the RSS, stressing the importance of diversity in India and claiming that the BJP and RSS have an ideology that, in fact, enforces that women's place is in the kitchen. What's your rebuttal, sir?
Under Rahul Gandhi's idea of India, a lady who accuses the Congress party of casting couch is suspended. In Rahul Gandhi's idea of India, a 13-year-old when is raped, Rahul Gandhi is completely silent. In Rahul Gandhi's idea of India, when a daughter in Bengal is raped and murdered, the Rahul Gandhi is completely silent. The unfortunate part is that Rahul Gandhi uses a foreign territory for his domestic politics. He lies about India, bats for China. If you remember, if you remember very clearly that the unemployment rate in China is 17%, but despite that, Rahul Gandhi bats for China. So, under Rahul Gandhi's idea of India stands for falsehood. It stands for demeaning India and everything which India stands for. And this is his politics of divide and rule, which Congress party has historically practiced. And this is why people of India in 14, 19 and 2024 rejected the Congress party. It is unfortunate that our opposition partner takes a foreign land for politicking rather than doing domestic politics inside India.
Well, Mr. Gandhi has argued that the 2024 elections in India, by the way, showcased how people saw an attack on the country's constitution, a claim that's been backed by many analysts as well, with many actually feeling that the Prime Minister's government was undermining India's traditions and diversity. But Dr. Tripathi, what would you like to say to Mr. Bhandari's claims? Dr. Tripathi, are we audible to you? Well, we are just working to reconnect with Dr. Tripathi because we want a Congress reaction as well on Mr. Bhandari's clear claims at this stage. He has obviously spoken as a BJP spokesperson. Rahul Gandhi there arguing that the 2024 elections in India showcased how people saw an attack on the country's constitution. He's made these remarks and hit out at the BJP and the RSS while he has touched down in the US for 3 days. In fact, Mr. Gandhi made these comments at university in Texas in his speech. He has clearly said that the BJP and RSS ideology enforce that the women's place is in the kitchen. Right, we have Dr. Tripathi with us. Dr. Tripathi, we just heard Mr. Pradeep Bhandari make some audacious claims, none backed by evidence. What's your rebuttal?
I think I would like Mr. Bhandari to listen to Mr. Gandhi when he talked about the essence of having love, respect, humility in the center stage of politics, and that's what when he preaches Mohabbat ki Dukhan, and that's what Congress stands for. It's not about somebody claiming that he's non-biological and he has his superpowers to achieve some ends. What was important here is Mr. Gandhi talking to the NRIs there, the value they bring to the table. He asking them to move back forth between India and USA, bring their specialization, bring their skill set to India and help in the India story. I don't think anywhere, Mr. Gandhi, while he talked about the shoemaker from Sultanpur that he met few days back, he talked about the NRIs too, and he wanted to bridge that gap. It's very sad that Mr. Bhandari, and he's a leader of opposition as a constitutional post, and Indian Overseas Congress has a presence in 32 countries, and they've been demanding Mr. Gandhi's visit, which he made a very brief visit because of the Haryana and the elections, Haryana and JLK elections, and that's where he talked about love, respect, empathy, where he talked about Bharat Jodo Yatra, where he talked about the power of people, the power of constitution, and obviously RSS believes in the unification of ideas and not multiplicity of ideas. The organization that didn't furl the Indian flag for 52 years doesn't have any authority on the nationalism. The RSS that believes in the regressive, shallow definition of the role of women in the society is always somebody who believes in the uniplicity of ideas. So I think Mr. Bhandari should sit down, should listen to what Rahul Gandhi said. He made some very good points. Maybe he'll enlighten himself. because I urge everyone to listen to Rahul Gandhi. He talked about constitution, he talked about the power of people, he talked about bringing empathy, he talked about listening. Listening is the core crux. You know, when you stop blabbering all the time 24/7 and you start listening to the people, that's where you get the people's ideas at the center stage.
Thanks so much, Dr. Tripathi and Mr. Bhandari, for joining us with those quick comments. Meanwhile, during his 3-day visit to the United States, Rahul Gandhi has addressed critical issues like unemployment, education and technology as well. He observed that both the West and India are facing job crises and suggested that India should boost its own production in order to tackle unemployment. In fact, he also spoke about his Bharat Jodo Yatra, further adding that it fundamentally changed the way he thinks about his work. It completely changed the way how he views politics. But in Dallas, he also highlighted that the IT industry in India is going to have a really big, serious problem because of artificial intelligence. Listen in. While we line up that reaction for you from Texas of Rahul Gandhi mentioning the dangers of artificial intelligence on India's IT industry. Meanwhile, let's go across to AI and tech expert Ankush Sabharwal, who joins us on the broadcast at the moment. Thanks so much, Ankush, for making time for us. You're a part of the AI field. What real impact could Rahul Gandhi's statement have on the industry?
I think if you see overall, AI is creating disruption.
Yes.
Earlier, it was being discussed in educational institutions and in a few industries, corporates. And now I think now every household is talking about AI. I have no doubt AI would continue creating disruption. And I think we have to take this as an opportunity for us for us Indians. India wants the knowledge leader. I think again, this is an opportunity for us to be an AI leader. I think we don't have to see AI as one field or one vertical. I think AI would be used across verticals, across sectors. I think once again, India has an opportunity where we prove to be the AI super leader in terms of creating application in and also in terms of creating AI workforce. See, we don't have to be technically very adept to use AI and even to develop AI. There are a lot of easy platforms, no code platforms where non-techies can also create AI applications. But the good thing is we can just be a leader, but just using AI in whatever field we are in. As we know, India has around 67% working age population.
Right, but
I think
Ankush,
around
you know,
90.
what strategies can India employ to leverage AI's advantages while also minimizing its potential downsides? And how can India actually build a skilled workforce to support and manage these AI technologies?
Sure. I think if we continue focusing on what are the advantages of AI in the respective fields, I think we don't have to make drastic steps to adopt AI. I know some companies are saying we have AI budgets and all that. I think um, I would suggest use AI in whatever field we are in, increase the productivity, have better operational efficiency, try to increase revenue, try to reduce cost with AI as enabler. Whatever field we are in, I think we will
Right.
see huge benefit in the respective fields.
Any advice on how India can actually prepare its legal and regulatory frameworks to actually address the ethical dilemmas posed by artificial intelligence?
Yeah, I think India is anyways leader in that space. If you know the GPay, where India was the chair, it is all about human-centric and responsible use of AI. I think India is anyways working towards the regulation, but I think we have to focus on AI training, AI skilling, more of AI literacy. I'm not saying everyone should become AI expert, but at least try to embrace AI, use AI in your respective fields.
There also seems to be a bit of a negative connotation when we mention AI, especially in the past few months, perhaps. But if you could just walk our viewers through the benefits as far as the healthcare sector is concerned, the education sector is concerned.
Yes, see every sector. So healthcare, if you see, See, healthcare now, let's start with being aware. See, what does doctor do? Doctor makes us aware of the obvious things, which probably we do not know, but doctors know with the virtue of the education the doctor goes through. But we cannot visit doctor maybe multiple times in a day
Absolutely.
and even every day. If the basic things, basic needs, even to about even when and what vaccine to give to our child. So what's a healthy food, how to kind of have prevention in not having disease and all that. So instead of going to doctor, if having nutritious food, how to take care of health, hygiene. So if the basic things, if someone is guiding us, maybe in the form of AI, I think just to start with that, just to get vetted, verified information. So that will help us improve as individuals and as a society. That's healthcare. Education, of course, see the way the education is being imparted. I think that we have seen revolutions. Now we have smart classes, but we are still, of course, dependent upon teachers. But again, teacher cannot be available to me 24/7.
The
So
infamous
how
chat
about we
GPT.
use a hybrid? I'm sorry.
I'm saying the infamous chat GPT as far as education is concerned.
Yeah, see, the Chat GPT is big. I would not recommend users to use Chat GPT as it is, but because that's not vetted, no one is taking the responsibility, right? So we don't get the vetted, updated information. But I'm talking about other AI tools which are contextual, grounded,
Right.
no hallucination with the citation. So when I say AI, not Chat GPT, but
Yes.
other specialized tools. Yes.
Right. Ankush Sabharwal, thank you so much for joining us on the NDTV 24/7 with your views. With that, let's turn our attention now to the neighborhood. Well, Defense Minister Rajnath Singh has said India is ready to start a dialogue with Pakistan, but terms and conditions apply. The Defense Minister says this will only be possible if the neighboring country stops sponsoring terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir. Mr. Singh made the comment at an election rally in Ramban district, where the BJP has fielded Mohammad Salim Bhatt from the Banihal seat in the district. The Defense Minister said 85% people who were killed by terrorists were actually Muslims. We actually have a reaction lined up for you. Listen in.
पाकिस्तान से बातचीत करने की बात कुछ लोग करते हैं। मैं कहता हूं पाकिस्तान एक काम कर दे, आतंकवाद का सहारा लेना बंद कर दे। कौन नहीं चाहेगा कि हमारे पड़ोसी देशों के साथ रिश्ते बेहतर हों, क्योंकि इस हकीकत को मैं जानता हूं बहनों भाइयों, जिंदगी में दोस्त बदल जाते हैं लेकिन पड़ोसी नहीं बदलता है।
Meanwhile, an infiltration bid has been foiled at Nowshera in pole-bound Jammu and Kashmir, with at least 2 terrorists killed, the Indian Army has confirmed. In fact, the Army has said 2 terrorists have been neutralized and a large quantity of warlike stores, including 2 AK-47s and 1 pistol, have been recovered. The search operation is in progress. With that, let's turn our attention now to West Bengal, where in the wake of the people's uproar demanding justice for the deceased woman doctor, West Bengal Governor Dr. C.V. Ananda Bose has directed Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee to hold an immediate emergency cabinet meeting and discuss the issue as per our sources. Governor Bose has also stated that the state government should decide on the people's demand to replace the Kolkata Police Commissioner, Mr. Vineet Goyal. In fact, Ananda Bose is on record that the government cannot evade responsibility and remains silent on the disturbing developments as far as West Bengal is concerned. Meanwhile, the parents of the Kolkata doctor who was raped and killed last month have accused the Kolkata police of attempting to destroy evidence since the beginning of the case. Taking part in a massive protest march in Kolkata, the victim's mother actually said the government, administration and the police have not cooperated with us since the beginning of the case. The police, she said, also tried to destroy the evidence from the beginning. In fact, she added that I request that the mass protest should continue as long as we don't get justice. My colleague Saurabh Gupta has the lowdown for us.
Well, that's been an allegation that's been in the public domain for some time. The police have vehemently denied that claim and also have put out their clarification saying that they've run a transparent investigation and the CBI's investigation if there's any evidence or any accusation of tampering or evidence destruction, etc. There are relevant laws to deal with that kind of a situation, and that will happen given that the CBI has taken over the investigation. But let's focus on what happens today. Firstly is the Supreme Court hearing, and all eyes on the Supreme Court hearing. And you can see, of course, RG Medical College and Hospital also, actually there's this little stage that they've created. We want justice, it's been decorated with flowers, and in Bengali it says Amar Didil Bichar Chai, basically justice for my sister. And this is, of course, the stage they've created here. Now let me also show you, and of course that symbol of justice, with the blindfolded statue holding the measurement thing. And then of course on this side is the emergency wing of the hospital, and there too, where that policeman is sitting, you can see it says it's been decorated with flowers. This is the emergency wing of RG Medical College and Hospital. On the third floor of this on the fourth floor of this building, there was that seminar room, which is the place of occurrence of that crime, and you can see it's been decorated with justice for Abhaya written there, with flowers, and that is of course to mark this really this sort of days when lots of people have been out on the streets demanding justice. Now the investigation, of course, like we've been reporting, is with the CBI, and what progress has the CBI made in the investigation? That's something we will need to wait and see. But you can see, of course, there is of course a lot of sort of preparations, and people are sort of anxiously watching every development in the Supreme Court to see what happens as this hearing takes place. There are other things also. The BJP has a DC North Ghirao, in the protest. The left parties have a Lal Bazaar Abhijan again, which is a march to the police headquarters. So multiple political protests also taking place, and politically, of course, the Trinamool has also faced some setbacks over the weekend. Jawhar Sharkar's resignation, for example, highlighting how there has been sort of gaps in dealing with the situation. So lots has happened over the weekend, but all eyes today actually on the Supreme Court, where that all-important hearing will take place as this RG case gets underway.
With that, let's get you a quick crucial update from Manipur, where protests erupted in Imphal last evening as a torch rally was organized by a large group of demonstrators to express their frustration over the escalating violence that has actually gripped the state in recent weeks. In fact, this came days after a fresh wave of violence gripped Manipur, with multiple attacks and killings reported across several districts in the state. The protesters gathered near the governor's house, carrying torches and chanting slogans to demand immediate intervention to stop the rising tension as well as contain the unrest in the state. The demonstration, though, aimed at drawing attention to the deteriorating situation, underscored the growing concern among residents over the ongoing conflict. And let's get you a quick update from battleground Haryana now, where the Congress has released a list of 9 candidates for the assembly polls, fielding Brijendra Singh from Uchana Kala and Mohit Grover from Gurugram. Now, with this list, the Congress has declared a total of 41 candidates for polls to the 90-member assembly. In fact, last week on Friday, the Congress declared 32 candidates for the polls, fielding former Chief Minister Bhupinder Singh Hooda and wrestler Vinesh Fogart from Julana. Another interesting contest will be in Tosham, where Congress veteran and now BJP's Rajya Sabha MP Kiran Chaudhary's daughter Shruti Chaudhary will be facing a contest from her cousin, Congress's Anirudh Chaudhary. And as far as the alliances are concerned in poll-bound Haryana, Congress and Aam Aadmi Party's deliberations over seat sharing, they continue after the Congress said they aim to limit Aam Aadmi Party to a single digit. Now, an Aam Aadmi Party leader has come out and said that the party must rethink its alliance with the Congress. Remember, Haryana heads to polls on the 5th of October. Here are the political reactions coming in. Listen in to those, followed by my colleague Gurpreet Chinna's ground report.
कौन सी सीटें होंगी, कितनी सीटें होंगी, इस पे बॉल बाय बॉल कमेंट्री नहीं की जा सकती है। अलायंस करने के लिए आरजू भी है, हसरत भी है, उम्मीद भी है। आखिरी तारीख नॉमिनेशन की 12 तारीख है। 12 तारीख से पहले फैसला ले लेंगे और अगर मन नहीं मिले या अगर विन विन सिचुएशन नहीं हुआ तो फिर छोड़ देंगे।
हाँ देखिए, दोनों दलों के अंदर भय है, दोनों भ्रष्टाचार की दलदल में फंसे हुए हैं। हरियाणा की जनता ने तय कर लिया है, चाहे कांग्रेस एक गठबंधन करे, चाहे कांग्रेस 10 गठबंधन करे, कांग्रेस का सुपड़ा साफ होने वाला है। हरियाणा में भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार तीसरे बार बड़े मैंडेट के साथ बन रही है।
Well, for the last so many days, we have seen Aam Aadmi Party and Congress, they are holding multiple meetings to discuss the political strategy. But what we have learned from inside sources, they say there's a seat sharing problem which is going between the Congress and Aam Aadmi Party. One side, we have seen Aam Aadmi Party has been demanding 10 seats from the Congress as an ally partner, whereas the Congress is not interested to give them 10. They are trying to give only 5 to 7 seats. We have seen and we have also heard Raghav Chadha, he's saying they are trying to hold a multiple discussions, and anytime the positive news can come about the alliance, and we have time till 12th of this month because nomination is going to be filed till the 12th of September. But as of now, we have seen there is a lot of pressure on both the party, whether it's the Aam Aadmi Party or the Congress Party, from their workers. We have seen some of the leaders from Delhi, they have also come to fore and they have been claiming there is need to go into detail before forging any alliance with Congress, because they want one workers, and workers want we should contest the election from all the 90 seats. That this is the same situation of the Congress as well as the Aam Aadmi Party also. Aam Aadmi Party is also getting a lot of pressure from the workers, saying we should contest independently, we should not forge the alliance. But let's see that we have seen the central leadership and top leadership, they are holding multiple meetings. They are also trying to make a political strategy, how they are going to form this formula for the seat sharing. That is yet to be seen. If we can talk about all over politics in Haryana, we have seen after the list of the BJP, there are a lot of rebels who have come very vocally against the party, and same situation we have seen in Congress also. Some of the leaders, they have been demanding that there is no need to give ticket to the outsider, because those workers who have been working in their constituencies, we need to consider their application instead of bringing outsiders. So let's see that how after BJP, how the Congress is going to combat with this position, and whether these people who are raising flag against the party, they will damage during the Haryana polls or not. How the Congress is going to make a political strategy to pacify all these leaders, that is yet to be seen. Back to studio.
Well, from battleground Haryana, let's get you an update from Andhra Pradesh and Telangana now, where heavy rainfall is on the forecast. In fact, it's really unfortunate. There's been a lot of destruction in both the states. The government has been on high alert amid the heavy rain. A flood warning has been issued for several districts of Andhra Pradesh, and schools are shut in several Andhra districts. The IMD has issued an alert for heavy rain. I must inform you that Chhatrapalli village in Alluri Sitaram Raju district has suffered massive destruction. The government on high alert in Andhra Pradesh. Let's turn our attention now to Uttar Pradesh, where a train derailment bid was foiled after a gas cylinder was actually found on the track. A train hit an LPG cylinder near Prayagraj. The Railways has now ordered a probe over the suspicious material, I beg your pardon. A sabotage angle is also being probed. Well, let's turn our attention now to the neighborhood, where PTI leaders are rallying outside outskirts of Islamabad, demanding the immediate release of their founder Imran Khan, while criticizing the government for marginalizing the party as police fired tear gas to disperse the crowds all of yesterday. The party was staging the rally today again to gain support for Imran Khan's release, who has been imprisoned since last August. Mohammad Ghazali has been tracking the latest developments for us as far as the neighborhood is concerned. He joins us live at the moment. Ghazali, what details can you disclose to our viewers regarding Pakistan and the protests there?
See, yesterday the supporters of PTI, the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf Party of Imran Khan, was holding this protest rally in Islamabad, in the national capital, and there were some hurdles before they could arrive at the point near the Islamabad city on the outskirts. For past many weeks, the PTI supporters were trying to hold this rally. They wanted to obtain an NOC. The NOC was obtained just a couple of days ago, and after which this protest was held. But the NOC had said that the protesters had to leave the rally venue by 7 p.m, which they didn't, after which the security forces were forcing them to leave the rally when this clashes erupted. And many senior police officials were also injured. The visuals coming out from that area suggest that perhaps there were also tear gas shelling which was done by the security forces on the protesters. And that is when the things became worse, the situation became tense, and after hours of this entire melee, the protesters left the venue. But this is one of the biggest strategies of the PTI workers to revive the future of Imran Khan, because many political experts have already written his obit, and he is still behind the bars. Mr. Imran Khan is facing more than 200 cases, and for the past many weeks this entire protest rally was in the offing. Finally, they got the go-ahead, and yet it turned very violent. That also kind of shows that the future of Imran Khan and as a politician in Pakistan is literally uncertain, because he stays behind the bars. He faces more than 200 cases. If he gets acquittal in one of the cases, then through legal tangle, he is yet again put behind the bars, or he stays behind the bars because he is facing legal cases in other charges. He's facing other charges as well. So as of now, it also suggests the kind of political turmoil Pakistan or our neighboring country is in due to internal politics. But it also shows that Pakistan's Imran Khan and his party is still trying to revive his future through these protests.
As always, Ghazali, thank you so much for joining us with the latest. We will, of course, revert to you for regular updates on what's happening in Pakistan. With that, let's get you news from another Southeast Asian nation. Typhoon Yagi and the landslides and floods it triggered killed at least 24 people and injured another 299 in northern Vietnam over the weekend, as authorities warned of more flooding this morning, continuing into the week. With dramatic visuals coming in from from Vietnam. The typhoon was actually Asia's most powerful storm this year and made landfall on the country's northeastern coast on Saturday. Now, in terms of the impact, it has disrupted power supplies and telecommunications in several parts of Vietnam. The weather agency has warned this morning of more floods and landslides, noting that rainfall ranged between 208 mm and 433 mm. That's about 17.1 inches on the higher side in several parts of the region over the past 24 hours. The National Center for Hydromet Forecasting said in its latest report that floods and landslides are damaging the environment and threatening people's lives as far as Vietnam is concerned. With that, let's turn our attention now to the United States. Well, the last time presidential candidates met on stage, they traded barbs and personal takedowns in a debate that actually sort of changed the 2024 campaign in the United States. The first showdown between US Vice President Kamala Harris and former US President Donald Trump showcases a far different race than the debate that sank President Biden's campaign, if voter enthusiasm is any measure. So why exactly is this a big deal? Well, since Joe Biden bowed out following his shaky debate performance, Kamala Harris has erased Trump's comfortable lead in the polls, setting up a razor-thin election with less than 2 months to go. The event, though, represents an opportunity for a do-over for both parties in the US, but the consensus among American voters is clear. They want more policy and less political sparring in what may end up being the only debate between the two nominees before Election Day in November. Now, if you remember, there were initially some signs Trump might back out of the debate, but at this point, there's no reason to believe he won't be there. And yes, per the debate rules, the Biden and Trump campaigns originally agreed to, each candidate's microphone will remain muted while the other one is speaking. The Harris campaign made an effort to unmute the mics, but the Trump team refused. So what are the rules for the big debate? Well, there'll be no opening statements, or questions between candidates. Props and pre-written notes are prohibited. There'll be no staff interaction during the breaks as well. Answers and rebuttals are limited to 2 minutes, while follow-ups and clarifications are actually limited to 1 minute. Lastly, each candidate gets 2 minutes for a closing statement, with Trump speaking last after winning a coin toss. Meanwhile, news from home ground. Well, India's fight against air pollution, there's been a gradual progress as per Pollution Monitor's data. PM10 pollution in cities like Delhi, Kolkata, Jaipur are far from acceptable as per this latest report. 21 cities saw a 40% PM10 pollutant reduction in 6 years, but Mumbai, Varanasi saw a reduction in these pollutants. But the CBCB data says most cities still do not meet national standards. Shreya Ghosh joins us with a quick update on this latest report. Shreya, in fact, this report highlights that PM10 pollution in cities like Delhi, Kolkata, Jaipur are actually far from acceptable.
That's right. And this NDTV, it was launched back in 2019, and its main aim was to reduce the PM10 levels by 40%. Although some of these cities have, in fact, reduced PM10 pollution levels by 40% from 2017 to now 2024. But then these big mega cities like Delhi, the PM10 levels have dropped by only 14%, and it still exceeds the national standard by over 3 times. Same with Greater Mumbai, it has reduced, the PM10 levels has reduced by nearly 42%, but yet it remains in the polluting category as it does not meet the national ambient air quality standards till now. And it goes the same for the other high polluting cities like Ghaziabad, Noida, Kolkata, Ahmedabad, Jaipur. And as you correctly said that these are far from the acceptable PM10 limits. Although cities like Trichy, Tuticorin and Kadapa with over 40% reduction has taken place in the PM10. And now these particular cities now fall under the 18 cities that meet the clean air standards. So we can say that India is making gradual progress in this fight against air pollution. As per this data from the Central Bureau Control Board, Central Pollution Control Board, yet there are a large number of big cities which are still continuing the fight of air pollution, especially the national capital Delhi, which is the world's most polluted city. And although 95 of these cities have made gradual improvement in their air quality, but only 18 of these Indian cities have actually reached the acceptable limits.
As always, Shreya, thank you so much for breaking down the findings of this latest CPCB report for us. We will, of course, revert to you for regular updates. Well, news and updates continue on NDTV 24/7 as usual. We're slipping into a very short break for now.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
Rahul Gandhi is in the US on a 3-day tour where he has attacked the BJP and RSS. He's also highlighted the unemployment crisis in India. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh hints at a conditional offer with Pakistan regarding entertaining talks at an election rally in Jammu and Kashmir. The Indian Army carries out an anti-infiltration operation in Jammu and Kashmir. 2 terrorists have been held. The Kolkata victims' parents accuse the police of a cover-up bid since day one.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi.
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV. 8 a.m. every day.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come, donate. Let's rebuild Wayanad.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. "10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones. And now I have a plan to beat the urgency, to stop breathing with difficulty, to relieve getting choked with inactivity. Energize our government, our environment, our society, and ourselves. Everyone, everywhere, every day. Banega Swasth India. One world hygiene.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV. 8 a.m. every day.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now.
Well, our big focus, the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi is scheduled to meet our Prime Minister today and hold discussions on a wide range of areas of bilateral cooperation. I must inform you that this is Zayed Al Nahyan's first visit to India as the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, and he is accompanied by several ministers from the UAE government as well as a business delegation. He is also scheduled to call on President Draupadi Murmu and will visit Rajghat in order to pay tribute to Mahatma Gandhi. But tomorrow, the visiting Crown Prince will visit Mumbai to participate in a business forum in which business leaders from both countries are expected to participate. According to the Prime Minister's office, I must inform you that India and UAE, the trade between both our countries rose to $85 billion US. This is in the year 2022. Making the UAE India's third largest trading partner for the year 2022-23 and India's second largest export destination. India is also the UAE's second largest trading partner. Here's a little context for you.
A momentous occasion unfolds in New Delhi as the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, Sheikh Khalid bin Mohammed Al Nahyan, has arrived for a pivotal visit. This trip signifies not only a strengthening of ties but also marks the future leadership of the UAE, with Sheikh Khalid set to be the next king. The deepening bond between India and the UAE is exemplified by remarkable gestures of cooperation, such as the recent construction of Hindu temple in Abu Dhabi, a gesture of goodwill and mutual respect between the nations. The Indian diaspora, numbering over 3.5 million, plays a crucial role in the UAE, contributing significantly to its economy and cultural landscape. This vibrant community underscores the deep-rooted connections between our people. Trade between India and the UAE has surged, with bilateral exchanges reaching nearly $60 billion annually. This economic partnership extends to strategic investments and collaborations that are shaping the future. India is the second largest trading partner of UAE. UAE is India's largest trading partner in the Arab world. Total trade between India and UAE projected to reach $100 billion from $57 billion at present. UAE is fifth largest supplier of crude oil to India and accounts for about 8% of India's total crude imports. UAE ranks first among the destinations for India's exports in West Asia region. As a powerful player in the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, the UAE's support is vital for India in navigating regional challenges and balancing diplomatic pressures, particularly in relations with Pakistan. Sheikh Khalid's visit highlights the UAE's commitment to deepening economic and strategic ties with India, setting the stage for a future of enhanced collaboration under his forthcoming leadership. This visit not only reaffirms the strong partnership between the two countries, but also paves the way for a prosperous future. The growing alliance promises mutual benefits, reflecting the shared aspirations of India and the UAE.
UAE has emerged as a key anchor for India's Gulf outreach, and with this visit of Crown Prince Khalid, India is expecting to deepen its strategic ties with one of the most powerful nations in West Asia. With camera person Xavier, Mohammad Ghazali for NDTV.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, who's currently in Saudi Arabia for a key Gulf summit, will travel to Germany and Switzerland later this week on an official visit. Mr. Jaishankar will reach Berlin on Tuesday for a two-day official visit, his third visit as foreign minister to Berlin. And then in Germany, he will be meeting the German federal foreign minister as well as the leadership and other ministers from the German government. The aim there is to review bilateral relations between India and Germany. After which, he's also going to be heading, he has a packed schedule. In fact, he's going to be in Switzerland from the 12th to the 13th. The Gulf Cooperation Council, though, in Riyadh, is a political and economic union of 6 countries in the Gulf region: Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait and Oman. Let's go across to Ghazali for a quick update. Ghazali, first the Middle East, then Europe. Take us through Dr. Jaishankar's key meetings this week as well as the planned agenda.
Yes, Dr. Jaishankar has already arrived in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia because he's going to be there for 2 days for a meeting with the GCC, the Gulf Cooperation Council of these Arab countries, where our foreign minister will be meeting with the foreign ministers of other Gulf countries, which is going to be called the first India GCC foreign ministers meet. Why this is significant? Just an extension of what I was reporting a short while back, that India is deepening its ties with Arab countries. Why this is significant? Because most of these Arab countries also account for our largest trading partner. 3 important nations, Qatar, UAE and Saudi, also accounts for most of our expat population who are from India. Then we are heavily reliant upon them for our energy, oil and natural gas needs. But besides that, there are many challenges as well for which Mr. Jaishankar, the foreign minister, is there to meet the foreign ministers of other Gulf nations. One being the conflict in West Asia, because since India maintains its relations with Israel, Iran and Arab countries, so navigating through it, because India is not not a major player when it comes to conflict in West Asia. And primarily due to that, India is also facing security challenges in the Red Sea when it comes to the sea route navigation or sea route trade. We know how Houthis are attacking and stopping any ship which is moving either towards Israel or moving outside from Israel towards any other country. So to navigate through these challenges, the Foreign Minister of India, Mr. Jaishankar, is in Arab country. In Saudi Arabia, he will be attending a 2-day event, and then he will move towards Europe, Switzerland and Germany, where he will also aim to deepen their ties with these European countries, because we are also kind of dependent on them for trade ties, and to ensure that our relationship with both the region, in the Arab world and in Europe, deepens further when it comes to trade and investment. This trip is very significant.
Thanks so much, Ghazali, for joining us with those crucial updates. Switching tracks, National Security Advisor G. Doval will travel to Moscow this week to hold discussions aimed at resolving the Russia-Ukraine war. Now, this comes after Prime Minister Modi visited Russia back in July and Ukraine in August, where he held meetings with the presidents of the two countries, Vladimir Putin and Volodymyr Zelensky. Shortly after his trip to Ukraine, though, and his meeting with President Zelensky, our Prime Minister spoke to President Putin over the phone on the 27th of August. And a Russian embassy statement then said that Prime Minister Modi informed President Putin about his visit to Kyiv and stressed India's commitment to bring about a settlement by political and diplomatic means. Ajit Doval's visit, however, is part of the BRICS NSA's meeting this week ahead of the annual summit in Kazan. The meeting will see top security officials of Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, besides new members Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Iran, Egypt and Ethiopia. Mr. Doval is also expected to hold bilateral talks with his Chinese counterpart, Mr. Wang Yi. Well, for further clarity, we have with us Russian affairs expert, Professor Anuradha Chinoy. Thank you so much, ma'am, for making time for us on the World 24/7 as always. India has not publicly censured Russia's invasion of Ukraine, as we know, and our leadership has consistently called for a return to the path of diplomacy and dialogue, as we've seen in Russia and in Ukraine. But ma'am, how do you think Mr. Doval's trip is likely to impact the current state of affairs?
Well, look, Mr. Doval's visit is extremely important. Number one, it is a follow-up of Prime Minister Modi's visit, where there were very serious talks on the issue of international security and specifically what is happening in Ukraine, where the Prime Minister had very clearly, told Mr. Putin that this is not the time for war, and also that India has taken a position which understands Russia's position. So Russia is grateful for that position, but also a position of kind of neutrality, where they would like peace to resume, which is good for the planet. So that is the one issue which Mr. Doval will talk to with the BRICS national security advisors. All of them will be there. So this is a very important meeting of the BRICS. And also because the BRICS, their yearly meeting is going to be held under Russian presidency in next month in Kazan, for which Prime Minister Modi has said he would be going. But the issue of Ukraine is that clearly Ukraine has now pushed into the Kursk area of Russia, which is within Russia, and has entered there. But at the same time, it's obvious that it's strategically losing this war. It's on the back foot. They've lost a lot of men and equipment, etc. And they've been pushed into this war. It's a proxy war from the West. And India is one of the few countries, along with the BRICS countries, who can mediate. So there is a possibility that the BRICS collectively would bring out a strong statement next month. But before that, India would offer to mediate. But this depends on both sides. Now, Ukraine can't want mediation and keep pushing into Russia. There has to be a communication between the two sides, a political will between Russia and the West and Ukraine. And only then India cannot just, they don't want to make a fool of itself asking for peace when both these sides are in a war of attrition, where the Ukraine is being pushed as they say, to the last Ukrainian to get a victory, and the decision will be on the battlefield. That is not India's position. India's position is have peace, ceasefire, negotiate now, and come to a good settlement on both your terms. Compromise. Peace requires compromise. Give some, take some. So I think that is what Mr. Doval will put forward, and he will be backed by especially China and South Africa. They have similar positions in the BRICS. All the BRICS countries are for this. It is the West and Ukraine really which which want to go back to the borders of pre-2014, which Russia will not agree to.
Well, hopes are high indeed from this meeting, but it's no secret, meanwhile, ma'am, that India buys crude oil from Russia in order to keep domestic inflation in check, and also that Moscow continues to be a major defense supplier to New Delhi. Ukraine also, meanwhile, has significant military and bilateral cooperation with us. Do you think Mr. Doval's participation at this forum in St. Petersburg is, in a sense, likely to upset Ukraine and Mr. Zelensky?
You see, Ukraine wants every country on their side. He is likely to make some noises, because when Prime Minister Modi went to meet Mr. Putin, that was the day the NATO meeting started. Ukraine expressed disappointment, and he would, but he also wants, I think he's on a losing wicket, and he would like peace on his own terms. So I don't think India is particularly concerned whether Ukraine criticizes it or not.
Right.
They have a clear agenda that they are saying they're we say we are neutral, and we have given humanitarian assistance to Ukraine. Prime Minister Modi also visited Ukraine to show India's even-handedness. And so we have to continue with our agenda, which is of global peace.
As always, Professor Chinoy, thank you so much for making time for us on The World 24/7. Always a pleasure to hear your perspective.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. "10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones. And now I have a plan to beat the urgency, to stop breathing with difficulty, to relieve getting choked with inactivity. Energize our government, our environment, our society, and ourselves. Everyone, everywhere, every day. Banega Swasth India. One world hygiene.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come, donate. Let's rebuild Wayanad.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and
A very good morning. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Divya Vavda. We have a whole lot lined up for you, including Rahul Gandhi, who is in the United States, says that love and humility is the role that he plans to interject in Indian politics. We'll get you all the details. But first, the headlines. Rahul Gandhi attacks the BJP and the RSS in a speech at the University of Texas. This is Rahul Gandhi, who has gone on to... We also know that the Supreme Court is hearing the Kolkata doctor's rape and murder case. This is the CBI to file the status report in the top court today. So it will be led by the Chief Justice of India, who will be hearing that case that's coming up in court. Of course, it is the parents making allegations regarding the cover-up by the police, saying that they were trying to cover up things from the very start. And in the rape and murder case in Kolkata, the parents there accusing of the police of destroying evidence from the very start. This happened at the protest that took place on Sunday, with the parents asking for the support of the people in order to get justice for the victim. And this at a time when 25 different countries also held a protest to get justice for the victim of that horrific case. And Rahul Gandhi says that it is the BJP and the RSS who want women to stay in the kitchen. That is the ideology of the BJP and the RSS. He, on the other hand, says he wants to interject love, respect and humility that's missing in Indian politics. Rahul Gandhi has also gone on to say that AI is bad news when it comes to the jobs in the IT sector. And Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has hinted at conditional talks with Pakistan, saying that they're ready to speak with Pakistan provided that Pakistan stops supporting terrorists. And Rajnath Singh then opening a door. Will Pakistan walk the distance is the big question. Let's get you the very latest in the Kolkata doctor horror case, in which the Supreme Court is hearing the matter. The Supreme Court continuing its hearing on the rape and murder of the young trainee doctor. The CBI has to now submit its status report. The Supreme Court hearing amid the mega protests that have been held in Kolkata on a Sunday. Those protests that continue. Do remember, today marks the 1 month since that horrific incident that took place at the RG Kaur hospital. Three-judge bench headed by the Chief Justice of India. They're hearing the case. The Chief Justice of India to consider the status report of the CBI in the case. The CBI to file that status report today, and the centre they're urging the government to extend its full cooperation to the CISF. So this is the latest that we are getting for you, with the CBI there having to file the status report in the Supreme Court as the hearing continues in the case. So this is led by the Chief Justice of India, hearing the case of the horrific rape and murder of the trainee doctor at the RG Kaur hospital in Kolkata. So the Kolkata rape and murder case, the centre has recently filed an application alleging unpardonable non-cooperation of the government in extending logistical support when it comes to the CIFS tasked with providing security at the hospital. So that is the concern as far as the centre is concerned, asking and urging for full cooperation and support of the government of West Bengal to the CISF responsible for the security at the college. And also, in talks with the Supreme Court, they're hearing the matter concerning the murder of the alleged rape of that junior doctor at the RG Kaur hospital. The bench that is led by the Chief Justice, Mr. Chandrachud, along with Justice Pardiwala and Manoj Mishra, they're presiding over the case, taking up the matter. The centre has also spoken about the unpardonable non-cooperation by the West Bengal government in extending its logistical support when it comes to the CIFSF tasked with providing the security at the hospital. Do remember that it was the West Bengal governor who had directed the Mamata Banerjee government to have that emergency cabinet meeting over the public demand as far as the resignation of the Kolkata Police Commissioner is concerned. Now, do remember there were protests yesterday. 25 countries had participated in that protest that took place. 130 cities that took part in that protest against the injustice and demanding justice for the victim in the case. It is the family that has made allegations talking about how the police has tried to cover up the case, how they were trying to destroy evidence from the very start. This comes at a time when torches and national anthem played in another night in order to reclaim this is as far as reclaim the night in the state, that is to bring about the confidence and justice that will be provided by the top court. So the protesters, both women and men, young and old, took to the streets, forming human chains, writing graffiti on the walls, holding burning torches and singing the national anthem, as many may wave the tricolour, the only flag allowed in these rallies across the state, to register their protest against the murder, as today marks the 1 month since that horrific case that took place in Kolkata at the RG Kaur hospital, in which a 31-year-old trainee doctor was allegedly raped and murdered. There is only one suspect who is in the police custody as of now, but the family there has been making a lot of allegations in regard to more people being involved. It doesn't seem like a one person's job. The family there has also spoken about the delay as far as the FIR is concerned. Do remember that they reported the case at about 7 o'clock, but the FIR was only registered at 11:45. They've also spoken about how they were made to sign a blank paper, which the mother finally tore up. In all regards regarding that they were offered a bribe, they were offered money at the time when they had gone, to report the case. Also now they're saying that they were trying to destroy evidence. That is the latest allegation that is being leveled by the family, saying that they were trying to destroy evidence from the very start. So those are the allegations that are being made by the family of the young doctor who lost her love. We have my colleague Rishika joining us on the phone line to get us more on this. Rishika, the hearing has resumed in the case, and it is the CBI that has to, now file its status report.
Well, yes, Divya, as per the information that we're getting from our team of reporters who are inside the courtroom at the moment, we're given to understand that the CBI has in fact filed that report, and the Supreme Court has begun hearing the matter as far as the doctor's rape and murder case is concerned. Now, the case, of course, that the court is primarily going to hear today is regarding the brutal rape and murder of the 31-year-old trainee doctor at the state-run RG Kaur Medical College and Hospital in Kolkata. This is an incident, remember, that happened on the 9th of August. And today, ironically, as the court resumes hearing this case, it is the 1-month anniversary of the horrific crime. A bench comprising of Justices D.Y. Chandrachud and Justices J.B. Pardiwala and Manoj Mishra are in fact overseeing the proceedings in the court today. And, this is a hearing that is coming in at a time when there has been a bitter political fight over the issue as well. What we're given to understand is that Senior Advocate Kapil Sibbal, who's appearing on behalf of the West Bengal government, has said that a status report has been filed and the State Health Department has filed this report. He's also cited the fact that 23 people have died as a result of doctors not working. This is a claim, of course, that has been made by the senior counsel appearing on behalf of the West Bengal government. While of course the court is listening to this, what the Chief Justice of India so far has said that they would like to first listen to what the CBI inquiry has come up with. Now, remember, initially it was believed that they would wait for the West Bengal government to complete a probe. However, before that stipulated deadline, Mamata Banerjee did decide to hand over the case to the CBI. Since then, there's been a bitter political fight. There have been several allegations that have been made by the victim's family against the Kolkata police and the manner in which they handled the case, including alleging sabotage and the fact that they tried to destroy evidence in the case from the beginning. So it's going to be very important for us to see what the
Rishika,
CBI
we
status report
also
says.
have Saurabh Gupta joining us to get us more on this. Saurabh, take us through, the proceedings that have begun in court. What is really being said in court? Take us through the latest.
Well, two reports really I think that the focus is on. One is, of course, the report filed by the state government, which Kapil Sibal just mentioned in court. And the second one is, of course, the CBI status report, because that's where the focus is, given that that will give you an idea of the investigation into the rape and murder. And that is something that was initially handed over to the CBI by the Calcutta High Court. And of course, that went to the CBI. That case has been investigated by the CBI. What progress has the CBI made in this case and its investigation so far? That's something that would be perhaps looked at. And you can see, of course, the judges, I think, are going through that report. And that's very important to note, because that is where the focus is. Remember, all of this that you see here is all calls for justice for this young woman who was brutally raped and murdered at the Arjikar Medical College and Hospital. And we're coming to you live from the Arjikar Medical College and Hospital, where also the doctors who are protesting and have been on dharna are also watching the court proceedings through a screen that has been set up here, as this candlelight vigil also continues demanding justice for this young doctor who really, the injuries, etc., are all, it seemed all very brutal. And you can see this candlelight vigil on as the Supreme Court hearing gets underway. But like I said, the focus is on that status report that's being filed by the CBI, because that's where we will get an idea of how much progress has been made in that investigation by the CBI and where they've reached. Because remember, earlier, a few days ago, we reported that the CBI also has concluded that there is only one accused in this case, that is Sanjay Roy, who was arrested by the Kolkata police before the case was handed over to the CBI. Now, in the context of what's been going on, and there have been several allegations that have come up on social media, come up from several credible voices as well. Was there a cover-up? Is there someone else involved? Is there an attempt to shield someone? Was there evidence tampering? Was there crime scene tampering? All of these questions have been raised in several forums by doctors, by protesting students, some on social media, political parties. And while the state government has filed a report, the CBI's progress report is key, because the CBI, remember, hasn't shared a word in the public domain about the progress of the investigation, mentioning that it's a court-monitored hearing and they will provide updates to the court, which they are doing through that status report that's been filed in the court. But really, what people are looking for are answers to these crucial questions, because in the absence of credible, verified information in the public domain, there is scope for misinformation, there is scope for fake news, and there is scope for speculation and rumor mongering, some of which has already happened in this case. So all eyes really on what the honorable judges are going through. The three-judge bench led by the Chief Justice of India, Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, and all lies, like I really said, on that status report. And you can see the judges perusing through that report, going through that report, trying to understand where the CBI investigation perhaps has reached, and if there is any lacuna in the CBI investigation, that's also something that needs to be noticed. Because remember, in the local court, one must again clarify, because there's a lot of confusion. The Supreme Court is not conducting the trial in this case. The Supreme Court has suo motu taken over the public concerns and several issues that have been raised, and the trial will be conducted by a trial court. But for that trial to start, there has to be a charge sheet filed, which signifies the end of investigation. We'll just hear what the judges are saying.
The UD. Yes, I certainly.
UD 861 of
Yes,
2024
we certainly answer that.
Your Lordships had the benefit of going through this, but I would request your Lordships to go through. Yes. We have. Just to assist your Lordship. I am not adversarial. because we are dealing with a daughter and she is a daughter of each one of us. Therefore, my lord, I am taking it in that spirit. Please have a look at, my lord, this left-hand side and the right-hand side, my lord. Kindly go through it, my lord, with some, my lord, degree of attention, your lordships. I have gone through, my lord.
Death certificate, yeah. Yeah. उसमें कुछ हुआ था May I answer? Well, the death certificate was given at 1:47 p.m. And the UD entry was at 2:55 at the police station. 2:55.
That is 861?
That's right. There's the second question, your lordships. All subsequent proceedings, whether the inquest report or the CJM's order and all other documents.
So the case has resumed in court today, and this is after the status report has been submitted in court in a sealed envelope. The bench is examining the report that's been submitted in that sealed envelope. It is what has really been said in court so far is about how many people have already died because the hospital wasn't working. The doctors have been on strike. 23 people have died as doctors weren't working, is what has been said in court. Also, the Chief Justice of India has asked, as far as the distance is concerned, between the residence of the principal, the former principal of the RG Kaur Hospital, and the distance from his residence, we're talking about Sandeep Ghosh, the distance from there to the college, and that distance is about 15 to 20 minutes maximum, is what has been said in a court. So we have Saurabh with us. Saurabh, in order, the Chief Justice of India there, also the judges there examining that report that's been submitted in that sealed envelope regarding the status report. Also, from what we're hearing so far, is the role of Sandeep Ghosh is also, being probed.
Well, I think, the focus really is on what happened in the investigation, what has happened so far, and also I think the events of the 9th and 10th August. Because remember, that was the day when this incident came to light, and I remember all of us on...
So GD 565 at 2:55 p.m.
It's recorded at 2:55.
Yes.
GD? No, GD was
Yes, it's there.
23:30.
This is a certified copy, Milad.
565 is merely a medical certificate.
This is a certified copy, Milad.
Page 64.
It's not a medical.
Extract from the Tala police station daily register. It's not a medical entry.
Look at 11:30 night. I have the copy.
No, I have a copy too.
Certified.
We have certified copy. We've just given it to the court.
Saurabh joining us. Saurabh, what has really been asked in court today is regarding a clarification on two aspects, wanting to know the time at which the unnatural death came to be registered in this particular case.
There's been a lot of talk about the UD case being registered, why it was registered, and both the Supreme Court and the Calcutta High Court have come down very heavily on the hospital administration for not registering a case in the first place when the body was found in the hospital premises. Prima facie, it was a clear-cut case of sexual assault and murder, and also the fact that it was not found on the road. It was not. The victim was clearly identifiable. She was a doctor who was working in the hospital, had been on shift for 36 hours. So in that sense, the hospital not filing a complaint is something that has not gone down well with the courts. How have the police functioned in this situation? The police say they've registered a UD case in the absence of a complaint and carried out, but the FIR is filed late at night. So again, there has been a question of why this delay. When was the UD case filed? When was the FIR filed? Why was that delay taking place? What was happening in that intervening period? That is what you see which is being clarified by the court, and I think these are important questions for the sake of investigation, because a lot of these questions have also given rise to
Insert is videographed.
And the it is videographed.
And the same has been saved on a card, which we can.
Sybil, also, second question. When was the search and seizure actually carried out?
Just 8:30 to 10:45. 8:30 to 10:45. The photographs had been taken before, Madhaj.
8:30 in the morning or in the evening?
Evening, Madhaj.
The body was found in the morning at 9:30.
That's right.
It cannot be
Photographs were
before that.
taken. Once the body was removed, Madhaj, for post-mortem, then only, Madhaj.
And by whom? There is some relevance. Therefore, my lord, I would like my learned friend to ask. There is some relevance.
Madhaj, we have photographs from 12:45 p.m. onwards of everything that happened. We have the original with us.
Now, during the course of the previous hearings, and therefore I think though the investigation is going on, we can share this because you've all said it openly.
Yes,
that there is evidence that there is a CCTV footage to indicate what time the accused enters the seminar room and what time he's exiting the seminar room.
Correct.
Right? This is shared with us. Now, obviously, therefore, there would be CCTV footage after 4:30 in the morning throughout the day.
Yes, there will be.
Has the CCTV footage in its entirety been handed over to the CBI?
Yes.
Yes, we have taken.
Yes.
We have taken.
You have taken the CCTV footage.
But we had to reconstruct the scene because of the distance.
But then, Mr. Solicitor, how do you explain this statement in your affidavit at small Roman 3 at page 14? Just see the last sentence.
My report, my lords?
Yes.
Yes. Page 14, my lords.
Just one para above 7.
Yes, my lord. The SOC was apparently visiting.
Have you handed over, as the Calcutta police handed over to the CBI, the entire footage of the proceedings which took place between 8:30 p.m. and 10:45 p.m.? Because CBI seems to have.
Yes.
What is shared with us
is about 27
minutes.
27 minutes, they say. The
4 clippings totaling duration to 27 minutes. And the proceedings conducted from 1706, that is 5/6, to 22:45 hours.
Mr. Sibal said that
Well,
they have actually
I'm
conducted
just
from
taking
8:30 p.m., that is 20:30.
I'm just taking instructions.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Malad, yeah, all right. Two separate things, Malad. Seizure 8:30 to 10:45. The video of that. Malad, seizure 8:30 to 10:45 given. Then, Malad, in parts, the videos have been given. In parts, there was some CCTV in hard disk. In parts, completely given, Malad. There was some technical glitch. It was stored in part, but given in full. Hard disk is full. And he's made a statement that I've given it.
So it's, in this context, I need to, my lord, come in, my lord, here, because there is something, my lord, which, according to me, is very, very serious, my lord. My lord, I want a flap. My lord, we have the forensic examination report. I'll not read it, my lords. But one thing, my lord, is admitted. When the girl was found at 9:30, I'm sorry, but her jeans were removed, and even the undergarments were removed and were lying somewhere nearby. So she was in a semi-nude condition. It is also an admitted position now that there were injury marks on the body and other my lord, areas. Now, your lordships may kindly see the report. Give me copies. And this, my lord, this is a foreign, my lord, your lordships may mark. They have taken the samples. They have sent it to an FSL in West Bengal, and this is the result. And
CFSL.
CFSL West Bengal.
Central Lab, not
Yes,
not
yes,
an FSL.
correct. I'm not on anything else. वो कहाँ है दूसरा? हाँ, यहाँ पे लगा. Lord, I have only one copy right now. Please see this, my lord. This is serious, and the CBI has taken a decision to send the samples, my lord, to AIMS and other, my lord, Central Forensic Science Laboratory. The person enters, the body parts are not covered, the lead girl is made nude, there are injury marks, and this is the result of FSL. Therefore, who took the samples becomes relevant. Kindly, my lord, have a look.
The injuries are all set out in the inquiry.
See this, my lord.
So this is
Lord,
CCTV camera 16. CCTV.
Which is what is this document?
So, proceedings that are going on in the Supreme Court, currently hearing the suo motu case related to the rape and murder of the 31-year-old trainee doctor at the state-run Arjikar College and Hospital in Kolkata. Today marks the 1 month since that horrific incident that took place at the hospital. The bench comprising of the Chief Justice of India as well as Justices Pardiwala and Manoj Mishra listening to the case. Do remember the status report has been filed, according to which 23 people have died as the doctors have been on a strike. We have Saurabh Gupta with us. Saurabh, take us through the proceedings in court so far.
Well, I think the proceedings really are about the status of the investigation, and I think one of the important updates that I at least heard, but again, we've all been listening to that court hearing, is that the CBI is looking at sending samples to AIIMS and to other labs. Forensic samples, are part of investigations. These forensic samples have been collected by the Kolkata police. They've been handed over to the CBI. And one set of samples, of course, was sent to a lab in Kolkata. Kapil Sibal pointing out that it is a CFSL, Central Forensic Sciences, a lab. So obviously, this is something that is what we're picking up, which means that the CBI is still very much in the process of investigation. If they're still sending samples to other labs, AIIMS, etc., one can presume that the investigation isn't really complete. And one of the things that everybody has been talking about is how long will it take, given that this is such a sensitive case and there's so much anger over this case. But obviously, an investigation has to be foolproof. And if there's anything that the CBI feels that they need to look at, re-examine, obviously they will take the time and do it, which is what seems to be happening. But the status report is already there. Justices, we'll just hear what they're saying.
There are two specimens. Mr. Mehta, we have seen now the further line of investigation which is open. We do not want to comment in it in the open court, obviously, so that the course of the investigation should not be affected.
Correct.
We will give you a week's time. Tell us by next Monday what further leads have emerged during the course of the further investigation. We'd like a status report to be submitted to us by next Monday. Mr. Sibal, it's advisedly we should not be referring to what has emerged during the course of the investigation.
Yes, absolutely.
Let the CBI proceed on the basis of what they are now exploring.
Sure.
The leads which they are pursuing.
Sure.
We'll keep it now on next Monday. So that
It's a holiday. It's a Tuesday.
Only a minute. Only a minute, Mr. Lord, there is one IA which we have filed, IA 200162. Lord, where, Lord, your lordships were please, Lord, require.
Well, before my learned friend says that, I just
want. Only a minute.
Before my learned friend takes up, just hold on.
If you don't mind, sir, let me just show.
No, it's on the
What
previous
is
matter.
We'll just pass a short order on this.
the lady
Well, I just-
One
officials?
second. We'll come back to you in a moment. Let's clarify this part.
Yes.
A status report has been, a status report dated so and so has been filed by the Central Bureau of Investigation. We'll stop. Having perused the report, it appears that the investigation is in progress. So stop. We direct the CBI to file a fresh status report by the next date of hearing. Full stop. List on so and so for considering the fresh status report to be filed by the CBI. So we take it up on Monday for, Tuesday for considering the status report, which would be then filed by the CBI. Let's see what happens between now and because a lot of what has been collected during the course of the last 10 days is subject to further verification and
We'll also
forensic
investigate,
analysis.
my lord, who collected the samples because this
Fair enough.
report,
Not,
and we will send.
neither stop
to
you, nor
other-
are we guiding the CBI that we want a particular line of investigation to be conducted. CBI is doing it. You have flagged issues in the status report. You tell us next Monday what further emerges.
Take, my lord, this also on record, the report of the FSL.
We'll return this back to you. Why should we retain it right now?
Whichever way, my lord, comments.
We'll return that back to you.
Lord, one more thing.
Just,
my lord, out of, my lord, the lady.
First, we'll retain only the second status report on the record. The rest of the papers we'll return back to you.
My lord, there are 3 lady companies, my lord, of CISF. My lord, they are not providing the accommodation to them. They have to travel, my lord, from CISF camp, which is 1.5 hours away from the state. My lord, thereafter, my lord, there are several things which we have requested. It is order dated 22nd.
Well,
we are, my lord, almost 15 plus days down the line.
Well, as we have provided, in fact, if your lordship looks at our note, we have provided all that they wanted us to provide, everything that they wanted. Just give it to my.
The three companies of women constables
and
who are guarding the Adipur
accommodation for the
college,
women.
where are they presently housed?
Well, I just show to your lordship's. Please. Kindly see.
So can I have at least that?
Yeah, we'll just give it to you.
Yes. And I'll also share what is not provided so that you
just give it to you.
At least henceforth you instruct them to provide.
Kindly see the accommodation.
Yes.
KMCP Day School, 2.6 kilometers, 13 minutes away. One company proposed things, one company, 54 women personnel. Indira Maitri Shishu Kalyan Hospital, 6 minutes away. One company, 54 women personnel.
No, when?
These have been provided.
Since
then 3 flats in RMO quarters within so-and-so. On site, 20 for 25 personnel. Currently, 20 CIFS personnel are staying in 2 flats of RMO quarters within the hospital, and the rest of the CIFF personnel are commuting from 12 kilometers away. And the school and Indira Maitri Shishu Kalyan Hospital were undergoing construction, and therefore these are identified by the CISF themselves, Malal. So we put them there. And most of the state police officers deployed by so-and-so come from far-off places like Police Training Academy, Howrah, which is 22 kilometers away, Bodyguard Lines, which is 12 kilometers, and Police Training School, which is 10 kilometers. So, Malal,
this is my instruction
and
as on
our status reports, Malal, sets out everything.
As on 10:30 today, Malal, this is my instruction.
No, but we are telling.
Kindly have a look at this, Malal. We should not be fighting on this, Malal. The CISF.
Therefore, exactly.
We requested for handheld metal detectors. We requested for door-size metal detectors.
Everything is provided.
They provided that after 2 weeks, but this is
no. We provided there.
Let's have a look at this.
Just a second. What is now remaining to be provided? Mr. Solicitor, you have seen this. They say for housing one company of women personnel consisting of 54 persons, they have provided at KMCP Day School, which is 2.6 kilometers.
Kindly have a look at 10:30. At 10:30, this is
yet. Let the registrar of the High Court go and see, Malal.
Yes. Let 10:30, Malal. This is at 10:30.
Let him go and see.
I don't want, Malal. I'm not enjoying.
Can we look at this for a moment, please?
Yes.
Accommodation for one company provided in 3 locations as below. RMO Quarter, Ajikor Hospital, 20 persons. KMCP School, 40 persons. Indira Maitri Sadan, 30% likely to be handed over by evening today. 2 companies are
Yet to be provided
provided.
Some security gadgets are provided, some are not provided. Lord, I'm not gaining anything by pointing this out. This is what is needed. Lord, if some incident takes place, Lord, I stand responsible now for the security, the CISF.
Just one second. Mr. Sibal, you just check, Ms. Astha Sharma, you can check with the officers.
Yes.
In your statement, where you have said one company, 54 women personnel,
Yes.
that covers one and the same company.
Oh,
Which has been provided at KMCP and Indira Maitri or Shishu Kalyan
Hospital. It's one company / 54 women personnel.
Right, but the same one company.
Yeah.
But now, as of date, they have deployed 3 companies. So the other 2 are yet to be provided by you.
When
one second.
provided?
One here, Manoj, kindly see Indira Maitri, that's the other one too.
Yeah, that's the second one.
That's the second one. It's in Indira Maitri, Manoj, which is
So
1.7
we are
kilometers.
trying to tally what they have handed over with what you have handed over. What they have handed over suggests accommodation for one company provided in 3 locations, which includes 40 persons at KMCP and 30 at Indira Maitri Southern, and 20 persons at RMO quarter. Now, that indicates that only one company is taken care of. There are other 2.
According to us,
Persons plus.
just ask the registrar to go and
Why
check.
don't you?
One
Can,
company.
can,
Why register?
can we suggest this? Why do we have to ask the registrar to do all this?
Because they are
An
contesting.
officer of the state government and an officer of the a senior officer of the CISF.
We have done that,
Not one
on
company
ground, we have
can-
done that. They are not wanting, in fact, Manoj, on the ground, the story is different. Manoj, what can we say, Manoj?
But one
Alright,
company,
ऐसा लिख लीजिए.
90 individuals,
Okay.
90 officers.
Yeah.
A total of 3 companies of CISF personnel has been deployed for the security at Ajikor Medical College and Hospital. Full stop. Mr. Kapil Sibal, the state of West Bengal has in its submission indicated that provision for housing the personnel has been made thus colon ये इनके इसमें पेज 1 को tabulated chart ले लीजिए. Prima facie, it appears from the above tabulation that the prima facie, don't say prima facie, it appears from the tabulation. In the statement which has been placed on the record by the union government, on the other hand, it has been indicated that accommodation for one company has been provided in 3 locations, namely at bracket 1 RMA quarter dash Arjikor Hospital bracket 20 persons, 2 KMCP school dash 40 persons semicolon and bracket 3 Indira Maitri Southern 3 bracket 30 persons, and that the premises are likely to be handed over by the evening today. Full stop. In order to obviate any logistical difficulties, we direct that an officer of the nominated, a sufficiently senior officer of the Home Department nominated by the state of West Bengal and a senior officer of the CISF at the spot shall jointly liaise so as to ensure that all the 3 companies of the CISF personnel which have been deployed at the spot are duly provided for accommodation in the vicinity at par with what has been stated in the tabulated position set out above. Full stop. Next. In the event that any further full stop arrangements have been made for providing 6 buses, 4 trucks, and 3 light motor vehicles. Full stop. The 2 officers shall ensure that all requisitions, that necessary requisitions which are made by the CISF are duly complied with by 5 p.m. today. Full stop. Necessary gadgets for security purposes shall likewise be arranged no later than by 9 p.m. Today.
No, but that's,
As a matter of fact, this is also provided, must have been provided tomorrow, yesterday or day after. I don't wish to trivialize the magnitude of the problem I am dealing with.
One further
by
thing now.
saying
but I have
non-cooperation.
three issues that I wish to place before you.
We hear you on those issues, Mr. Sibal. What steps have been taken by the state of West Bengal because we had said that pending the finalization of the recommendations of the National Task Force, we would like the state of West Bengal to immediately put into place necessary measures which would bring into being some sense of security and
We have got a report, Manoj, from the health department.
and
Just
provision of
manifest.
adequate measures for the doctors,
Yes, yes.
nurses, and the paramedical staff.
Yes, Manoj.
Status report.
Status report that we have filed, Manoj.
The health secretary.
Make a prayer, let the competence of the autopsy surgeon be also emerged within part of the investigation. And also they had offered money so that they can, my lord, speak in tune of the police. These should also be within the purview of the investigation. That's my humble appeal.
Look, we need not pass any separate order because what you are saying is already a part of the status report that the CBI is looking into all these aspects.
We appreciate just one thing, that this postmortem could not have taken place after 6 o'clock in the evening. There are standing instructions. Everything, my lord, will just kindly take the postmortem report once and just give me 2 minutes. I will show your lordships how this entire investigation has been compromised. After 6 o'clock in the evening, a postmortem cannot be conducted anywhere in India and in the state of Bengal when it is a rape and murder. There has to be a noting of the civil surgeon on the postmortem report that the Deputy Commissioner of Police or the Commissioner of Police has certified it. Then it has to go to the superintendent. Superintendent certifies it and then sends it to the postmortem doctors. These three postmortem doctors, one of whom is a professor of forensics, my lord, knows this, but still, what is the reason? The reason was to get rid of the body. What Justice Patiwala was continuously asking, the GD entry number 576. My lord will ask them to show Form 27. And I'll answer Justice Patiwala's questions in 1 minute. Form 27, please. Form 27 is the first information report. In the first information report, there are various columns. Column 3, C2 gives the GD entry number.
Column C?
C2 gives the GD entry number by which the FIR was started. The FIR was started by GD entry number 577. The UD case was 576, as pointed out by Justice Patiwala. It was registered at 11:40 in the night, 45 in the night. But in the history,
That was better the last time also.
in the history, in my last 27 years in my career, I have never come across a case where seizure takes place prior to the lodging of the FIR.
The FIR has been registered at 23:30 hours.
Yes. Now, there was a previous FIR.
Along with
the FIR has been suppressed.
If you see,
I will show it.
3 doctors sign off on it.
I will show on the
6:10 to 7:10. Let him say.
Let him complete his submission.
Dead body arrives 6:10.
Mr. Counsel, please complete your submission. Yes.
My lord will kindly take once. My lords will kindly take section.
Just tell us on the facts, what are you saying?
My lord will kindly take the postmortem report and compare it with the UD case which was started. In the postmortem report, the lordships will see whether the clothes of the victim were produced before the postmortem doctor. The entire, the jeans, the top, the undergarments, everything was produced or not. Because as per the, I'll show the notification, they have to be sealed by the postmortem doctor and handed over to the investigating officer. If your lordship sees in the top whether the clothes were sent to the investigating officer of the UD case by the postmortem doctor. I will kindly ask them to just give a copy of it.
Of the postmortem?
Postmortem. Allow me to place.
We've handed over the postmortem.
We have seen the postmortem report. Just show us the postmortem report.
We've handed it over.
Either the state of Bengal or the CBI. Because we saw it last time, but since he's making a point, let's appreciate what the point is.
The parents wanted. They had a list of demands, including the parents.
Postmortem report doesn't even say at what time it is conducted.
Give it to us.
I'm sorry, that too.
Yeah. It says that at the time, everything is there. I don't know why you're making these
Please
statements.
tell us what the time of death is.
It's
Just 1 second.
condition of the subject, Malad, your lordships will find on the left-hand side.
Lordships will kindly see at the top. First will be the videograph. Conducted by whom? No designation. Who is he? From where did he come? Nothing. Was the CD on a rewritable CD or was it a non-rewritable CD? It has to be mentioned on the first line of the postmortem report.
Malad, the judicial magistrate was present during
is
postmortem
immaterial.
call for his report.
All the 3 doctors are part of the...
5 female doctors were present.
All are part of the North Bengal lobby.
Family.
Don't discuss such things here. Please.
My lord will kindly see the second line. It has to be at 4 degrees centigrade.
The postmortem report refers to Tala PS UD case number 861,
Yes.
dated 9 August 2024.
Yes.
Between 2:30 in the afternoon, when they say the GD entry was, that is 5:65, and 11:30 in the night, there are only 10 GD entries in Tala police station. Lordships will kindly appreciate that. Between 2:30 and in the afternoon and 11:30 in the night, there are only 10 GD entries. Or was this entire thing manufactured? And Maharaj, this started way back in 1953. It was the first case in Bengal where GD entries are manufactured.
You know that, what he said. Everything will be clear. The judicial magistrate witnessed all this. Call for that report.
Not on magistrate or these.
Magistrate makes no difference.
Lord, give me a minute.
My lord,
Please have a
every police station has a natural death. Sorry.
Lord, kindly have a look at left-hand side bottom, the finding. In the case of wounds, not note whether there is any indication of wounds being homicidal, etc. Then the report is death was due to effects of manual strangulation associated with smothering, as noted above. Now, please see manner of death, homicidal. There is a medical evidence of forceful penetration, insertion in her genitals, possibly of sexual assault. And see, my lord, the FSL report. My lord, I have marked, my lord, 2
CFS.
my lord, seized items.
Just give us that.
Given that. I'll just.
The proceedings in court regarding the suo motu case taken on the rape and murder of the doctor at the RG hospital exactly a month ago. So the counsel there are talking about the FIR being filed at 11:45 at night, saying that in the last 27 years of his career that he hasn't seen such a case, talking about, how was the post-mortem report could not have taken place after 6 p.m. within the country or in Kolkata. And of course, what is really being said in regard to the condition condition in which she was found at 9:30 in the morning, that she was found in a semi-nude condition in which her jeans and her undergarments were taken off. And this, of course, raises questions regarding the principal who had tried to give the spin of a suicide to this case. So many questions being raised in the Supreme Court. However, more time has now been granted in order to file that special status report that the court is asking for that report to be submitted by Monday next week. With that, we're slipping into a very short break. We will keep tracking more on this.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come, donate. Let's rebuild Wayanad.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. "10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones. And now I have a plan to beat the urgency, to stop breathing with difficulty, to relieve getting choked with inactivity."
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come, donate. Let's rebuild Wayanad.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. "10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones.
Good afternoon and welcome. You're watching NDTV 24/7. Our big focus story in this bulletin is on the crucial Supreme Court hearing in the Kolkata rape and murder case. We'll get you all that and more on the other side of the headlines. The Supreme Court hearing in the Kolkata doctor rape and murder case continues. The court says it needs clarifications on the quote-unquote unnatural death. The Supreme Court has sought details on the victim's time of death, the probe and the forensics involved. It's a big blow to Mamata Banerjee's nephew Abhishek Banerjee in the school job scam case. The Supreme Court has dismissed the plea challenging the ED summons. Abhishek Banerjee and his wife therefore can now be questioned by the Enforcement Directorate in the school's job case. Abu Dhabi Crown Prince meets Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the national capital. Zayed Al Nahyan's first visit to India as Crown Prince. Next, he will call on President Murmu. It's a bitter fight between the Congress and the BJP as Rahul Gandhi attacks the BJP and RSS in a speech that he delivered at a university in Texas. He says the BJP and RSS ideology wants women to stay in the kitchen. Love, respect and humility is missing in Indian politics, says Rahul Gandhi. He also talks about the job situation, says AI is bad news. Indian Army carries out anti-infiltration ops in Jammu and Kashmir. 2 terrorists have been killed, weapons have been recovered. A search operation is now underway in the Naushera sector. Rain red alert for Andhra Pradesh for the next 24 hours. Schools have been closed down in many districts of the state. Orange alert in Telangana as well, as Chief Minister Reddy holds meetings on relief and rehabilitation measures. Well, ahead of the impending quote-unquote pollution season, the Monitor's data cites a gradual progress. The Central Pollution Control Board says 21 cities saw 40% PM 2.5, PM10 pollutant reduction. I beg your pardon. Also, Mumbai-Varanasi air improves, but most cities in India don't meet the standards. Delhi, Kolkata, Jaipur are the worst. Well, the big focus story for us continues to be the Supreme Court hearing in the Kolkata doctor rape and murder case. The Supreme Court is continuing its hearing. It's a bench led by the Chief Justice of India, Justice Padriwala and Justice Manoj Sharma, all part of the hearing. The Supreme Court is continuing to hear the matter as the CBI has submitted a status report to the court. The West Bengal government has also submitted a status report to the court. Let's listen in to the proceedings.
They take pictures, photographs, evidence is destroyed. And thereafter, after 5 days, if we enter the scene, we have our own challenges.
We asked, the first question which we asked was, has the CCTV footage between 4:30 in the afternoon onwards been handed over to
Yes,
the
it
CBI?
has been.
They say it has been.
Well, we've got the document of handing over.
CBI says that they have it. Let them look into the...
27 minutes only, not...
No, the entire. We've got the handed over document.
There is a little bit of a confusion on this, Mr. Solicitor. What CBI has been handed over, which you have also said, is about 23 or 27 minutes of 27 minutes pertaining to the actual search operation which takes place and the inquest which thereafter has taken place. We wanted to know whether you are in possession of the complete sequence of the CCTV between the time that the accused leaves the hall
I've
and
got the document.
events
But
which
Manoj,
take
the
place.
CCTV will only show the accused entering, etc. Here,
No,
the
no, no, no,
crucial-
no, no.
Who else,
Crucial
Mr.
evidence.
Who else entered after the accused deadline?
Just hand it
Who's
over.
dealt with the
over memorandum.
Look into these aspects.
We will.
Tell us on the next date of listing, because these are obviously, now that some leads have emerged, we'd like you to further investigate and come back to us.
I just want to mention.
But only one.
Can I have a word? Can I have a word?
My lord, may I just speak on behalf of the students?
Only a minute, ma'am. I'll just
Yes,
in the
sure.
date.
This would go on till.
Right, so that's the hearing that is underway in the Kolkata rape and murder case. The forensic report has been questioned, as has the entire timing and the chronology of the investigation, including what is being talked about right now, which is the CCTV footage and when that was handed over and whether all of it was handed over. Now, remember, the reason why this hearing becomes so important is because the family of the victim has alleged that there was a bid to sabotage the case, alleging that the Kolkata police, in fact, tried to tamper with the evidence and tried to destroy the evidence. These are, of course, claims that are being made by the parents. And while there is a bitter political fight that is underway, this is a crucial hearing that will essentially determine whether there is any credence to those claims and whether indeed this was a botched investigation. The Supreme Court is asking the CBI now to submit a new status report. Let's listen in.
Body is dispatched from after the inquest for the purposes of the postmortem. You have that letter by which the body is dispatched for postmortem.
Yes, my lord, it is there. Form number 5363.
Once again, how will you
Let
have
me
it?
have-
I'm seeing the form number.
Obviously, we're saying it with a certain purpose. We want to see that.
It will be a long.
I'll check up, my lord, and
You know that.
Yeah, it is there. Because it was shown before the High Court. Before the High Court, I argued.
Can you just, 1 second.
I don't have it. It was before the High Court. It was argued.
Just 1 second. Let's not get into these bickerings. We have flagged a document. We want to see that document. Do you have the document here?
Yes, I'll just check immediately. The body was handed over from.
Ms. Astha, do you have the documents?
We just were trying to see it. But in the meantime, I just mentioned.
Dead body chala.
Lord, in the meantime, can I
Just 1 second. So only deflect. Yeah, on one particular issue, let's seize that issue and then
Yes.
see if there is a satisfactory answer.
Yes.
Otherwise, CBI will look into our query by the next day.
There is also an antecedent aspect to what the Lordship. Yes.
Till they find out, my lord, your lordships have kept it on 17th. 17th. Can it be on 18th? 17th would be miscellaneous day. That's on.
We'll get a little more time.
Yes, no, miscellaneous day has its own problems, your lordship knows.
But let them
18th.
investigate.
Mr. Sibal, do you have it?
But I only have this that is handed over, dead body challan that's handed over. That's all I have. To the family. Yes, to the family.
But not the family. It was from the.
Come on now.
The person who does the UD.
Let my lord, the Chief Justice, see the document.
This is the blank one. It would be like this. This is blank one.
I'm sorry, Malad. No, who can read this?
The blank one. It would be like this.
This is not what we are asking for.
No, I'm just saying that's all we have at the moment.
Disposal order accompanying corpses sent for cremation. This is when the body is given to the parents. for cremation.
I cannot find the document immediately.
We are just trying it.
This is the only thing we have at the moment. That's all I can say, Malad.
Because when the body is dispatched from the postmortem after the inquest, surely the doctors who act on that and do the postmortem would first look at what is given to them.
We just look at it.
It would be like this. No.
You just have the format.
The blank form.
All right, let's see the blank format. This is a challan for use when a dead body is sent for examination.
Yes.
Where is that filled out challan?
Well, it's there. It's part of the case diary because it was shown in the High Court.
You wouldn't know it. How? Let the CBI say. We asked the state of West Bengal whether they have it here in the court. Let them give it to us.
It should be part of the case diary. That's all we can say.
That is not given to us.
Form by which you handed
That
over.
is not given to us.
Not be given to you.
That's what my hand.
Yes, it's not the file given. That's very important.
It's not in the file which is given to us.
Ms. Sharma, where is the challan when the dead body was sent for
Figure out,
for the
postmortem.
postmortem?
Figure out. Huh? See, let's not state something.
All right. So this is the latest that is coming in from the Supreme Court at the moment. The Supreme Court has asked the CBI to submit a new status report by the 17th of September. This is the latest information that is coming in. The court has directed that all necessary requisitions, security gadgets required by the CISF personnel should be handed over by 9 p.m. today. There are questions that are being asked of the West Bengal government at the moment on whether or not they have handed over all of the evidence that they had in their possession to the CBI that is currently probing the case. Let's go right across to Saurabh Gupta, tracking the details of this story. Saurabh, we're given to understand that the CBI has been asked to file a fresh status report in this case by next Tuesday. The next hearing, of course, will take place on the 17th of September. As far as the CBI status report is concerned, can you break down what's happening in court for the benefit of our viewers? Because what we are given to understand is that questions are being asked of the West Bengal government over the entire chronology in which they carried out their part of the investigation and then handed it over.
Absolutely, and there have been questions from day one about the chronology. When was the UD case registered? When was the body handover? What was the document that was handed over? Now, I think specifically a short while ago, the court was asking about handing over the body and the document that accompanies the process.
Yes.
When you have a criminal process like this, there are several rounds of documents. For example, a body is sent for post-mortem. There's someone who signs off that this is being sent for post-mortem. Then you have, the body is handed over to the family. Somebody is signing off that, post-mortem complete, then the body is handed over to the family. There's accompanying documentation to all of these processes. And I think what the court is asking for are these documentations that are part of the processes that are involved in a case like this, because those documents are something that will throw light on the chronology. And remember, all these questions of tampering, of whether there was a cover-up, of whether there was anyone being protected, of whether proper processes were followed, is all that can be established through documentation. Now, obviously, this is something. Now, I think what I'm hearing from court is that the CBI is saying that certain documents have not been given to the CBI, which is, of course, a question where, of course, this is something that these are questions that will come up, and perhaps that's what people are looking for clarity for. That if there was indeed, let's say, the allegation of cover-up, or if there was indeed, let's say, the allegation of shielding someone, then how are you going to establish all of this? That's what people are looking for in terms of the CBI status report. And we are seeing some amount of discussion on these lines in the court. But again, these are discussions. We'll have to wait for what the court order says. I think what is being alleged is certain documents that were perhaps part of the investigation or part of the case diary has not been handed over to the CBI. And that's a serious allegation because, remember, the order was that hand over all documents related. If something is not handed over, there are certainly questions about why. But in this context, let's also remember, what are people looking for from the CBI status report? One, was there evidence tampering? Was there an attempt to cover up? Was there more people involved in this crime? If at all there was a cover-up, what was that cover-up about? Because if there's only one person involved in this crime, then what would be the need to cover up? The Kolkata police have arrested one person, Sanjay Roy, he is in custody. But are there more people? So these are questions that perhaps people are looking at from that status report. And as of now, those answers, one may say, with a caveat, that are still elusive.
Well, several questions being asked of the West Bengal government there in court, and now the CBI being asked to file a fresh status report by, of course, Tuesday. This, of course, because the CBI probe, remember, is underway. And it's going to be very interesting to see how this story plays out. That hearing is still taking place. Thanks very much, Saurabh, for joining us with the very latest. We'll keep coming back to you for more updates on this big developing story. The Chief Justice of India is going to consider the status report of the CBI, but all that's going to now happen in the next hearing, which is on Tuesday. All right, let's shift our focus to the other big story that we're tracking at this hour. It's a big blow to Mamata Banerjee's nephew, Abhishek Banerjee, as the Supreme Court today has dismissed Abhishek Banerjee's plea against an ED summon in the school jobs case. Now, he filed a plea challenging the ED summons. That plea has been dismissed by the Supreme Court. It's a setback for Abhishek Banerjee and his wife, Ruchira Banerjee, who can essentially now be questioned by the Enforcement Directorate in the school's job scam case. So, setback there for Abhishek Banerjee. All right, well, it is festive season in Mumbai and it's also election season in Maharashtra with polls due later this year. Home Minister Amit Shah there offering prayers at the Lal Bagh Cha Raja, the most famous pandal in Mumbai. He was accompanied by Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde and the Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis. Other Maharashtra leaders are also expected to be there. In fact, several of them joined Home Minister Amit Shah as he offered prayers at the Lal Bagh Cha Raja. So Mumbaikars there celebrating the 10-day Ganesh Utsav. Households, mandaps all decked up, but remember it's also poll season with elections due in Maharashtra at the end of this year. And those of course are visuals of the entire BJP top brass, which is of course, Home Minister Amit Shah accompanied by Eknath Shinde and Devendra Fadnavis as he goes to offer prayers at Lal Bagh Cha Raja. And Bengali filmmaker Indam Sil has been suspended indefinitely by the Directors Association of Eastern India following allegations of sexual harassment on the set of one of his films. The suspension, effective immediately, comes in response to the seriousness of the allegation and the preliminary evidence that has been reviewed. The controversy began several months ago when a female actor on his film set accused Sil of inappropriate behavior. She's alleged that there were advances that were made towards her while he was explaining a shot. The complaint was filed with the state's Women Commission, leading to 3 hearings involving Sil.
Sir, this after the suspension, how do you react to it?
How will I react? It is, I don't know. But only one thing I can say, I have been 100% clear to my conscience, and the matter for which I'm being pinned is something that has happened in front of all, where I was discussing a sequence and enacting to show how a scene should be done. I think most directors do that.
Sure.
But then there were my DOP and my other people on the floor, though we were shooting inside a room, but there were technicians and people all around, and it's sad, and I can only say that it has been 100% unintentional, and it for the other party, she might have felt something else, but I haven't meant it.
Well, let's move on and get you the latest as far as the flood situation in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana is concerned. Both states have been put on a high alert in the light of heavy rainfall across Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. This is the latest information that is in fact coming in at the moment. Heavy rainfall in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, and the government has put both states on high alert. Flood warnings have been issued for several districts in Andhra Pradesh. Schools have been shut amid the high alert for rainfall. There is, of course, the death toll in the Andhra Pradesh flood so far has amounted to around 45, with 13 bodies found on Sunday alone. The NTR district is the worst hit, with 35 deaths have been reported. Agriculture, infrastructure, fisheries, livestock, etc. has all badly been hit. Incessant rains have also caused a lot of disruption in Vizag. Telangana has also been sounded with an orange alert. And while moving on to the other big story, we're tracking from the national capital. Sheikh Khalid bin Mohammed, the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, met with Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the Hyderabad House in the national capital just a short while ago. This is Zayed Al Nahyan's first visit to India as the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, and he's accompanied by several ministers of the UAE government as well as business delegations. He's also scheduled to call on President Draupadi Murmu and pay a visit to Rajghat as well. While leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi delivered a fiery speech at a Texas university where he's hit out at the BJP and the RSS. He said that the BJP and the RSS ideology wants women to stay in the kitchen. Now, this has been met with stiff opposition from the quarters of the BJP, denying, of course, the claim and also saying that this is Rahul Gandhi's bid to malign India's reputation at the global stage. Now, in fact, Rahul Gandhi said, and I quote, that the BJP and RSS ideology wants women to stay in the kitchen. Our RSS believes that India is one idea. We believe that India is a multiplicity of ideas. He also talked about love, respect and humility that are missing in Indian politics today, and said that he considers it to be his role to inject love, respect and humility into Indian politics.
This is part of the ideological fight between the BJP and us, right? The BJP and the RSS believe that women should be restricted to a particular role. They should stay at home, they should cook the food, they should not talk too much, right? And we believe that women should be allowed to aspire to whatever they want to do.
All right, well, Rahul Gandhi also interestingly addressed the job issue, where he's talked about how AI could potentially disrupt jobs and especially hit jobs in the IT industry. Listen in.
Every time you get a new technology, the argument is made that it's going to take jobs away, right? When computers first came, it's going to take jobs away. When calculators first came, it's going to take jobs away. I'm not of the view that jobs will vanish, but different type of jobs will be created, and different types of systems will benefit more or less, right? I think, for example, the IT industry in India is going to have a real big, serious problem because of AI. So it's going to hit different people differently. It's going to take away some jobs, it's going to add some jobs. And if you're positioned properly, it's an opportunity. And if you're positioned badly, you're in trouble.
Well, shifting focus to the other big story that we're tracking today, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh said that India is ready to start a dialogue with Pakistan if the neighbouring country stops sponsoring terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir. Rajnath Singh made the comment at an election rally in Union Territory's Ramban district. The BJP, remember, has fielded Mohammad Salim Bhatt from the Banihal seat in this district. The defence minister said that 85% people who were killed by terrorists were Muslims. Terror incidents used to be a routine affair in Kashmir. Were Hindus being killed in the terror acts, he questioned. And he's also said that he was the Home Minister and he knows that the highest number of Muslims have lost their lives in incidents of terror. Interestingly, Rajnath Singh, while of course extending that conditional offer for talks to Pakistan, has also in a certain sense indicated that India would be willing to once again go back to the drawing board with Pakistan as long as they stop funding terror activities, saying that you can change your friends, but you can't change your neighbors.
पाकिस्तान से बातचीत करने की बात कुछ लोग करते हैं। मैं कहता हूं पाकिस्तान एक काम कर दे, आतंकवाद का सहारा लेना बंद कर दे। कौन नहीं चाहेगा कि हमारे पड़ोसी देशों के साथ रिश्ते बेहतर हों, क्योंकि इस हकीकत को मैं जानता हूं बहनों भाइयों, जिंदगी में दोस्त बदल जाते हैं लेकिन पड़ोसी नहीं बदलता है।
And let's get you the latest as far as the protest in Islamabad is concerned. PTI leaders rallied on the outskirts of Islamabad on Sunday, demanding the immediate release of their founder Imran Khan, while criticizing the government for marginalizing the party as the police fired tear gas to disperse the crowd. The party was staging a rally to gain support for Imran Khan's release, who's been in prison, remember, since August. The Indian Army has foiled an infiltration attempt along the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir last night. 2 heavily armed terrorists were killed during the anti-infiltration operation. Rajouri district and in the Rajouri district, and of course weapons including AK-47s were recovered from them. The army launched Operation Kanchi last night at the Lam sector of Nowshera based on inputs of intelligence agencies, and the Jammu Kashmir police said the White Knight Corps in an online post. Now, infiltration bid has been foiled at Nowshera in pole-bound Jammu and Kashmir with at least 2 terrorists killed. All right, and breaking news that is coming in, airline fares have seen an uptick as we near the festive season. The government has said that they are keeping a check on airfares. The Aviation Ministry said that they are, in fact, taking a note of the uptick in airfares and have issued a statement saying that they want to ensure that passengers don't face any inconvenience. They won't force airlines to fix any price, but are closely monitoring the uptick in airfares during the festive season. So the government there keeping a watch on the airfares that are going up as the festive season nears. Airline fares typically do see an uptick during festive season as many people tend to travel home in order to celebrate several festivals. The government there saying that they will keep a check on the airfares. However, stopping short, saying that no directions will be issued to any airlines, but they will ensure that customers are not inconvenienced. All right, with that, we're going to slip into a very short break. Up next, we'll get you all the latest in India's fight against air pollution. A report suggests that we may have made some improvements.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come, donate. Let's rebuild Wayanad.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access.
Welcome Welcome back. As far as India's fight against air pollution is concerned, there's gradual progress according to the Pollution Monitor's latest data. The PM10 pollution in cities like Delhi, Kolkata, Jaipur still far from acceptable, but 21 cities, according to the latest report, have seen a 40% reduction in PM10 pollutants in the last 6 years. Mumbai and Varanasi are among the cities that have seen a reduction in pollutants, and the data of course still says that there are more cities that don't meet the national standard, and PM10 levels in cities like Delhi, Kolkata, Jaipur are still far from acceptable. All right, let's get you the latest as far as the train derailment is concerned. Now, an ATS probe into the train derailment has been ordered. This after a train derailment bid was foiled. A gas cylinder, remember, was found on the tracks. The train hit the LPG cylinder near Prayagraj railway station last night. A probe has now been ordered over suspicious material, and a sabotage angle is being probed in the Kalindi Express travelling from Prayagraj after it hit that cylinder. The cylinder was placed on the tracks of the Kalindi Express. The police has said that the train was halted instantly and a derailment was averted. An attempt to derail the Kalindi Express travelling from Prayagraj to Bhiwani was thwarted when this LPG cylinder was placed, and now of course all angles including a sabotage are being probed.
Yesterday at around 8:30 p.m., Kalindi Express, which starts from Prayagraj and goes through till Bhiwani, was moving ahead in Kanpur and just after Barrajpur railway station. The driver saw some object on the rail track and he applied emergency brake, but the speed of the train was high and the train hit the object. And after this incident, the driver stopped the train, informed the rail officials, and in investigation, the railway officials found a LPG cylinder along with some white and yellow object on the track. So a conspiracy theory is coming out, and the railway officials along with Kanpur police, they are probing the case. Either this is a conspiracy to derail the train, the Kalindi Express. And as far as UP is concerned, in July a train derailed in Gonda, and that too hit within a solid object. What was that? It's a matter of investigation, and the investigation is going on. And few weeks later, a goods train derailed in Amroha, and in August last week, third last week, a train derailed in Kanpur itself.
All right, well, let's shift our focus back to the big development that we were tracking. Airline fares see an uptick typically during the festive season, but the government says they are going to keep a close watch on the airfares. The Aviation Ministry has assured passengers that they won't be inconvenienced. However, the ministry has stopped short, saying that they won't force airlines to fix any prices. Vishnu Shom joins us with the very latest. Vishnu, what more can you tell us?
Well, it's an important statement that the minister has made, but I should point out that while the minister has said that the Civil Aviation Ministry is taking a look at airline fares and want to ensure that fares do not rise exorbitantly during the festival season, there hasn't really been a massive increase of late. Whenever there has been an increase in fares across the country, it has been when there's been a collapse in the civil aviation sector. For example, when Go First went under, when there were problems with some of the other airlines, Air India Express, Vistara, etc. That is when spot fares tend to go up. But I think what the concern of the minister is that there shouldn't be an overall rise in airfares in the country, but that's something which the ministry is looking at. But that said, there is very little that the ministry can eventually do because, it's a free market economy. Airlines do have the right to increase fares. It's very unlikely that the government would actually intervene unless such time as there was a real crisis as far as fares were concerned. That doesn't seem to be the case. But significantly, he's also spoken about SpiceJet. Remember, the Director General of Civil Aviation a couple of days back had issued a circular on SpiceJet where the airline was under enhanced monitoring to ensure that safety standards of the airline were being monitored at a time when there have been concerns about the financial health of the company. That said, SpiceJet has reported its most profitable quarter in its last quarterly report and continues to operate approximately 125 flights a day, but yes, has been in a state of financial despair, I should say, for various reasons over the last several years. So the new Civil Aviation Minister, Ram Mohan Naidu, speaking on several key issues in Delhi today.
Right. Vishnu, I also want to understand from you that, the government, of course, can keep a tab on airfares, but they can't really do anything in order to regulate or fix prices or impose caps, can they, given the fact that this is a free market economy?
No, they can't, and that's the key point. If they were to, then there is every possibility that the airlines would, take them to court. However, the government does have to keep an eye out on unfair practices. Unfair practices arise and have arisen in the past in the case of spot fares. What are spot fares? Rishika, if for example, we were to travel all of a sudden to, let us say, Srinagar, that is a critical sector, and we were to go to the airport right away to try and get a ticket on the next available flight, those spot fares would be much higher. However, passengers who book that same journey several weeks behind, which is most passengers, they would have the same fare. In India, spot fares tend to rise whenever there is a crisis in an airline. So, for example, when Go First went under and there was, several flights which had to be cancelled, those passengers who were looking for spot fares, in other words, those passengers who wanted to get on the next available flight, found several airlines increasing their spot fares. So the government did intervene on a few occasions. They didn't intervene on other occasions. But I think this is an overall advisory to the civil aviation sector saying, look, this is an important season. We have seen an increase in the price of fares, but let's be rational about it and let's work towards the interests of passengers.
Vishnu, also, help us understand this. I mean, at the end of the day, it is a demand and supply, isn't it? So if the demand goes up during the festive season, as it typically does, one does see, a rise in prices. The government, interestingly, saying they are keeping a track. Does that send out a message of sorts to airlines, an indirect message perhaps, since they can't directly control the fares?
Yes, it does send out a message. It does tell them, as I mentioned, give them a strong message. Don't do anything which enhances the prices beyond a certain point. Let things operate normally. There is a normal demand and supply situation. Airlines have done all sorts of things to increase fares, whether it is increasing certain aspects of fares. For example, if you want to book a particular seat, that is one way of, extracting more money from passengers. If you want additional services on flights, that is another way that airlines look at increasing fares as well. So there are all sorts of ways in which airlines do tinker about with, their pricing schemes and mechanisms. So, to try and ensure that they get a little bit more in an intensely competitive market. But I think the government's concern is less that and more about some sort of large-scale effort by airlines acting perhaps together, unofficially, to raise fares during the festive season when there is a huge demand.
Yes.
And obviously supply has to keep up with that.
Right. Also, Vishnu, help us understand as far as the market is concerned. Indigo does have the lion's share, but with the merger coming into place as far as Vistara and Air India is concerned, is that likely to balance the scales in a certain sense?
That's a very interesting question, but I think at this stage with a market share of well over 50%, Indigo is extremely well placed. Remember, this is an airline which is acquiring a new aircraft virtually every week. The order size which they have placed is the largest in the world. Air India, they were overtaken by Indigo, did have the world's largest order size. They are also acquiring aircraft in a very big way. In the Indian aviation sector, market share is the name of the game. But remember, Indigo is one airline all by itself, whereas Air India has got Air India Express, the former Air Asia India, and also Vistara. So all of those airlines coming into the Air India sort of kitty, as it were, to give them an enhanced market share. But at this stage, Indigo remains the dominant player, with SpiceJet also coming in with a lower share.
Right. Vishnu, do stay on with us. We have Vipul Saxena, aviation expert, joining us on the broadcast for a quick reaction. Thank you very much, Mr. Saxena, for speaking with NDTV. Your first reaction to the fact that the government, in a certain sense, just ahead of the festive season, has come out very publicly and said that, we're going to keep a check on airfares, because as we typically see with the demand going up during festive season, so do the prices. What do you make of what the government has said?
Yeah, I think it's a very good proactive action by the government. And I think this is one thing which is missing for quite some time, that, during this festive season when people really want to go back and connect with their, folks, back at hometown. And it is to be really, for most of the people, it is to be beyond their reach. And I think this kind of action should be appreciated. And it is workable too, even for the airlines, because when you have a high volume, you definitely have high margins also available. So I think instead of increasing fare, this time there should be fare war to have maximum passenger with them. Right. So I don't know which economy that they work on. They just want to try to pile up their profits during the season.
But Mr. Saxena, at the end of the day, it is a demand and supply, isn't it? If the demand goes up, the prices go up. That's a phenomena that's applied across the board. But, you know, what more do you think, as the expert here, what more do you think the government can really do? I mean, given the fact that they can't directly meddle in pricing because it's a free market economy as far as aviation is concerned, what more can the government do in order to proactively keep consumer interest in mind?
See, I would again say that there is no problem with demand and supply, because now Indian Airlines has got enough aircrafts available. During normal season, you know, many of the flights go even half filled. So there is no problem of capacity. So I think this is a time when if the fares are moderated, airlines can also make good profit, and passengers also can really meet their requirements. So government, I think they can give some kind of relief in terms of reduction in VAT by the state governments, and also some kind of subsidy on the fuel, so that airlines can also have some, you know, some cushion to absorb if there are some routes where the load is lesser, or it is not so viable because there are RCS flying also going on. So I think this kind of thing government can think of, giving some kind of subsidy on fuel surcharges. And
Mr. Saxena, if I could just ask you, you know, this question from a consumer point of view. If one does feel like there's a disproportionate hike in prices for a particular sector for a particular period of time, what can an average consumer do? Is there a redressal mechanism? Can they complain to the DGCA directly? You know, we've also opened up our phone lines for any viewers who have questions to ask the experts. Vishnu is also still with us on the phone line. What more can the average consumer do, Mr. Saxena? What could you tell our viewers to educate them better on what their rights are?
So I think if consumer waits for the opportunity to come when they really need the flight and they find the fares are very high, I think they have to take up this matter with the Civil Aviation Ministry portal well in advance, and you know, alert the government to see that the fares are not hiked disproportionately. And if required, there are so many foreign airlines which are operating in India, and they go empty many times from place A to place B within India. I think those also can be engaged to, you know,
Yes.
complete the capacity to ensure that fares are not hiked.
Okay. Well, the government has, in a certain sense, you know, issued caution. Like Vishnu was explaining to us earlier as well, it's not like the government can directly meddle in pricing or cap pricing for that matter, unless it is in extraordinary circumstances. But Vishnu is still with us. Mr. Saxena, do stay on with us, because I want to take this question to Vishnu as well. Vishnu, as far as the average consumer is concerned, you know, if they do feel like there are disproportionately higher prices on a particular route at a particular time, what are the options available apart from sort of just looking at alternative modes of travel?
Well, I don't think there are very many options, but I think we've got some data which we can actually reflect on. Firstly, the point that we've been making is whether or not there's anything that the government can seriously do. Well, under present regulations, airfares in India are not regulated by the government. Why? Because the Air Corporation Act, which was an act of March 1994, has been repealed. So essentially what the government is now doing is an advisory. But to the question of whether airfares have actually gone up, now they have gone up in certain categories, they've come down in other categories. Now there's an Ixigo survey which I've actually had a look at, and airfares have been going up. They've been going up from the month of August for the festival season, approximately 10 to 15% more during Diwali, 20 to 25% more for certain flights to Kerala for Onam. However, that these are average one-way economy class fares for non-stop flights. These are not necessarily return tickets. So if you do book a one-way ticket from, let us say, the north of the country to the south of the country during the Onam festival, then on particular routes and on particular days, there is a rise in airfares. However, the survey by Ixigo also shows that on certain other routes, fares are higher at a much lower rate. So while it could go up to 16%, they could rise just by 2 or 3% in other routes. So it's not as if there is a massive across the board, rise. It really depends on the sector, the day, and whether it's a return flight or a one-way flight.
Right. Also let's put this story in context from an industry point of view, Vishnu. There's a report that's been cited which says that domestic airfares in India have actually witnessed a surge of up to almost 40% on key routes in the past 6 quarters. Yet, that's the caveat, it continues to remain among the lowest in the world.
And, absolutely. And I'll reflect on that. I should also add to what I was just mentioning when, again, referring to this new Ixigo report, fares have also dropped between 1% to 27% on certain routes for the given comparison period. And we're looking at the festival season. So, it's not uniform across the board. As I mentioned, it depends on whether it's a one-way flight, a return flight, the sectors which are involved, the days which are involved as well. But yes, the Indian aviation sector is among the most competitive in the world. The fares are certainly some of the most competitive. This comes with its huge set of advantages and disadvantages. The advantages are generally to the customer. A, you've got a choice of airline. B, the fares are extremely competitive. If you book in advance, these are some of the most competitive fares anywhere in the world. But the problem is for the airlines to ensure that they've got a high number of passengers on each flight, because if you bring the airfares down and you don't actually have a high percentage of your seats which are occupied, then you stand the risk of running a loss.
Vishnu, I'm going to just interrupt you for a brief moment there, because I do believe that we have a reaction that has come in from the Civil Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu. Let's just listen in.
हम ज़रूर एयरलाइंस वालों से बात कर रहे हैं, तो हमें वो सेंसिटिविटी को आगे बढ़ा रहे हैं कि इस तरह के समय सब लोग अपने घर जाना चाहते हैं, सब लोग अच्छे तरीके से त्यौहार बनाना चाहते हैं। तो हमने या वेस्ट बंगाल हो या केरला हो, कहीं और भी कोई भी त्यौहार हो, हम लोगों की यही कोशिश रही है कि हम एयरलाइन वालों से बात करें, उनको ये सिचुएशन समझाएं कि इसका दुरुपयोग ना करें, अच्छी तरह से वो प्राइसेस सीमित रखकर उनको भी वो सुविधा दें। तो हम अपनी तरफ से जो चीज़ें करनी चाहिए वो सब कर, अगर जहाँ पे भी नज़र आता है कि कहीं से कुछ ज़्यादा ही प्राइस बढ़ रहा है, तो उस टाइम मिनिस्ट्री की तरफ से थोड़ा सजेस्टिवली जो करना होगा।
All right, so that was a reaction coming in from the Civil Aviation Minister himself, Vishnu. He's, very clearly said that the government is going to keep a check on airfares, and given the fact that it is festive season when we typically see an uptick in fares, especially to Kerala because of Onam festivities that have just concluded, or to West Bengal because of Puja that would begin in about a fortnight or so from now. Vishnu, I think it's interesting to note that he specifically also mentioned those two states.
That's right. So Durga Puja and Onam celebrations in the south of the country, they do see an incredible rush in passenger traffic. But I think it's important for passengers who are watching this telecast to know that, look, if you have booked fares well in advance, which is the case in most passengers, then you have protected yourself from these high price changes, which actually go up as the number of seats available goes down. So it really depends on when you've done it. Not all sectors are actually impacted, but this is a time when airlines in India do stand to gain a lot because of the competition, because of extremely volatile fuel rates in the country, because of very high parking fees in our airports, because of very high taxes and other fares associated with having a presence at an airport. The margins which Indian airlines operate with are absolutely minimal, and therefore just to make a small marginal profit on every flight requires airlines, whichever airline it is, to have a certain percentage of passengers who are on board. So it's a constant battle. You bring lower fares only with the hope that, a larger number of passengers come on board. If that doesn't happen, then our airlines make a loss on the routes that they're flying.
Well, absolutely. And I think what you said is very interesting for consumers to note as well before we sort of, just put all the onus and blame on the airline, because there are so many hidden costs that are associated with that final ticket price that we as consumers pay for. But I also want to ask you, Vishnu, because the minister specifically spoke of routes, and we'll try and play that bite out once again for our viewers. There is also a route monopoly that exists, and like we were saying, it's predominantly either Indigo or now Air India with the merger that are largely dominating most key sectors.
Well, actually, that's true only to a certain extent. When it comes to route monopolies, remember there are 4 primary airlines in this country. There is Indigo, which is by far and away the largest airline in the country. There is the extended Air India family. Remember, Vistara is now being merged into Air India. Vistara, as an independent entity, will cease to exist in a finite period of time, in a matter of weeks. Then, of course, there is Akasa, which is a new airline. They are aggressively acquiring aircraft, and they are operating on several routes. And the fourth major airline is, of course, SpiceJet. So, in terms of monopoly, it really depends on the number of aircraft that you can put onto particular sectors.
Right.
Now,
Vishnu,
Indigo and Air India,
just hold that thought, because like I said, we'd opened up our phone lines, and I believe we have a caller who's been waiting, to speak with us as well. Manik Paul has dialed in from Mumbai. Manik, go ahead. What do you want to say?
What I am hearing is you guys are discussing a lot about you guys are discussing a lot about how people are suffering. But I think we should stick to more reasonable solutions, like fix a profit margin whenever there is a crisis. For spot buying of tickets, you have to have, percentage-wise, you should fix a price. So you cannot have more than 33%, 34, 35, 40% profit. Not having 3,000 times profit and squeeze the customer who are in the spot.
Okay. Well, that's a very interesting point of view, Mr. Paul. Thanks for dialing in. I'll take this to both Vishnu and Vipul Saxena also, who's still with us. Vipul Saxena, I know you've been listening into our conversation. What do you make of what the caller has just said? Is it possible to cap those rates for airlines?
I won't say cap like this, but Vishnu mentioned that fares in India are quite competitive, compared to global fares. But then we also have to consider the per capita income of Indian people. So they cannot afford really this kind of fare,
right?
Especially during the festive seasons. So I think this is a reality that during the festive seasons, the fares are hiked disproportionately. So there has to be some kind of cap. I will not put any figure, but then government must come out with this, that they must put some kind of cap that you cannot charge more than this much escalation in the fare, because they have to meet certain requirements.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Saxena, and thank you, Vishnu, for joining us as well, and thank you to you, Mr. Paul, for dialing in. It's a story that really concerns all of us, and a story that we will continue to track here on NDTV very closely. But we'll shift focus now to the other big development we're tracking from the Supreme Court, where the hearing in the Kolkata doctor's rape and murder case is underway. As the Supreme Court continues to hear the case, the CBI has now been asked to submit a fresh status report by next Tuesday, that's the 17th of September. And a mega protest, meanwhile, has also been planned in Kolkata. Let's just dip in and listen into what's happening in court.
Give it to Mr. Solicitor.
Yes, my lord.
Yes.
There are several miscreants in this hospital itself. We are giving the names to the solicitor.
May I finish, Malaj? Yes. Now kindly turn to page 73, Malaj, of the police status report.
So what is that?
Well, just have a look at it, Malaj. There are some photographs your lordships will see, Malaj. Yes. Give it to my lord.
One second. You filed it, right?
Yes, we filed it. Therefore, I'm saying yesterday we filed it, we circulated. We have hard copy now, Malaj.
Status report by Kolkata Police.
Page 73, Malaj. Annexure 44.
Sure.
It may be
44.
Otherwise, I'm not.
It only goes on to Annexure A37.
No.
Page 73.
Page 44, page 73. We've got hard copies. Just have a look at it, Malaj.
Very small.
PDF
78.
PDF should be 78, I believe, Malaj.
Anything else left? That's He's dealing with action against threat culture.
On the ground, Malaj.
Therefore, we've asked the doctors to come back to work first and foremost. And we've seen this as well.
Okay. Now, Malaj, then two more things. Number one, Malaj, there should be no protest without an application to hold the protest, and the route to they just hold the protest without informing anybody.
In the last order, we have clarified that when we said that you will not take any action against peaceful protesters,
yes,
we had equally said that.
One second. Once.
Respect of any protest which.
Well, see what is happening.
And protest will not be, any protest will not be at the cost of their duties.
Yes. This is not clarified. This was not clarified, Malaj. This is not the doctors. These are not the doctors, Malaj. Malaj.
All right, let him say what he has to say. We got your point.
Nobody has protested beyond duty time.
As later was saying to the protesters, are we going by the police? Wherein that sort of certain information. But in that letter, it was categorically all the necessary information was served upon the police with regard to the rally that they marked that is going to be.
No.
Everywhere. All statements have been made by them.
Malaj, which court are we in, Malaj?
Unleash their courts. No regulator.
Well, this.
Kolkata police, not the West Bengal police, they did nothing on the part of the regulatory.
All right.
And it's beyond duty.
One last word, and then we are going to rise for lunch. We want to ensure that the doctors resume work.
Only one thing,
doctors are in the system to render service to the patients. We will provide every kind of measure of security to the doctors, but they have to reciprocate. We have said that no adverse action shall be taken.
Yes, please.
My lord, if they are also protesting and joining work.
We have CCTV footage.
When we said that no, one second, we said that, why don't you hear what we said? We said that no adverse action shall be taken against the doctors. Mr. Sibal, please ensure that those of the doctors who resume work, please don't take any action.
It's our duty. It's our duty, It's our duty. This gentleman who is before your lordships, I have got videos, photographs, he's throwing stones.
Lordship, there has been
this gentleman.
Lordship, a threat culture has been established.
Principal Sibal, Learned Senior Counsel, states that no action, including punitive transfers, shall be adopted against the doctors who return to work in terms of the directions and stipulations.
Those are the peaceful protesters also, right?
And IA.
Malaj, kindly see.
Because the individual who was found to throw stones, these sort of submissions come from
One second. Are you trying to address the gallery outside the court?
That's what he's doing.
1 second. Can we just, I've been noticing your demeanor for the last 2 hours. Can you first lower your pitch? Please lower. 1 second. Listen to the Chief Justice. Don't raise your voice. Lower your pitch.
My lord.
Second.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
New day, new show, a new experience.
Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead.
From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show.
Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come, donate, let's rebuild Wayanad.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. "10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones. And now I have a plan to beat the urgency, to stop breathing with difficulty, to relieve getting choked with inactivity. Energize our government, our environment, our society, and ourselves. Everyone, everywhere, every day. Banega Swasth India. One world hygiene.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app.
You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Divya Vada. We have a whole lot lined up for you over the next 1 hour, including the price hike due to the festive season. We'll get you all the details on what the centre is doing about that and a whole lot more. But first, the headlines. The top court scathing observation in the Kolkata case. The Supreme Court has gone on to say that why did this incident take place despite thousands of CCTV cameras? The Supreme Court has gone on to even pull up the Bengal government, saying, tell us by tomorrow what steps have really been taken in regard to the safety of women. Now, the government monitors the increasing festival airfares. The Civil Aviation Minister has said that they're keeping an eye on the airlines and asking them not to charge exorbitant fares, is what the minister is telling the airlines in order to make sure that the fares are affordable. Jammu and Kashmir, the BJP organizational reshuffle ahead of the polls, with the BJP senior leaders assigned an important responsibility. The senior leaders are not given any tickets, and this is in fact what is being said, that they are getting important roles, and that in order they have been assigned important roles in the party. Andhra Pradesh, there is a red alert that has been sounded off for the next 24 hours. Thereafter, the heavy rain will continue over the next 2 to 3 days. Schools have been closed in many districts of Andhra Pradesh due to the rainfall, and in Telangana, an orange category warning has been sounded off. The Chief Minister holding a meeting on relief and rehabilitation measures. And good news as far as the pollution front is concerned. 21 cities have seen a drop in PM10 levels by 40%, the pollutant reduction in 6 years. Mumbai, Varanasi, the air quality has improved. Most cities don't meet the standards. When it comes to the national capital, Delhi, that's far from the acceptable or the permissible limit when it comes to pollution. Let's get your top story, and that's airline companies that are increasing ticket prices during the festival season. And it's Union Civil Parks Minister, Ram Mohan Naidu, who's gone on to say that they're keeping an eye on the ticket prices when it comes to the airlines. All airlines have been told that the passengers should not face any sort of inconvenience. Everybody wants to go home during the festive season, so the ticket prices shouldn't be increased too much. The ministry has also said that they are speaking with the airlines in regard to keeping the tickets affordable. And let's just listen in to what Ram Mohan Naidu had to say.
हम ज़रूर एयरलाइंस वालों से बात कर रहे हैं, तो हमें वो सेंसिटिविटी को आगे बढ़ा रहे कि इस तरह के समय सब लोग अपने घर जाना चाहते हैं, सब लोग अच्छे तरीके से त्यौहार बनाना चाहते हैं। तो हमने या वेस्ट बंगाल हो या केरला हो, कहीं और भी कोई भी त्यौहार हो, हम लोगों की यही कोशिश रही है कि हम एयरलाइन वालों से बात करें, उनको ये सिचुएशन समझाएं कि इसका दुरुपयोग ना करें, अच्छी तरह से वो प्राइसेस सीमित रखकर उनको भी वो सुविधा दें। तो हम अपनी तरफ से जो चीज़ें करनी चाहिए वो सब कर, अगर जहाँ पे भी नज़र आता है कि कहीं से कुछ ज़्यादा ही प्राइस बढ़ रहा है, तो उस टाइम मिनिस्ट्री की तरफ से थोड़ा सजेस्टिवली जो करना होगा।
And we have Vipul Saxena, the aviation expert, joining us to get us more on this. Vipul Saxena, when Ram Mohan Naidu has taken charge as the civil aviation minister, he had claimed that the ministry had a 100-day action plan in order to tackle issues such as high airfares. The centre had asked the airlines not to make these fares unaffordable, but no directives can be given by the centre to ensure that the prices remain affordable.
Yeah, I think it's a very good and appreciable proactive action by the ministry this time. Unlike in the past, during all the festive seasons, the airlines hike up their fares exorbitantly. I would say it's like extortion during the festive season, and the many people cannot find it affordable to really get these facilities. Even then, there were no hearing. But now this time, Minister has taken proactive action. I think it's a appreciable action, and it's possible. What he's talking about is quite possible because airlines have so much of volume to make, conserve their profits and still operate it and accommodate people. But what has been happening is that during this festive season, airlines have been on the way of hoarding money, hoarding profits, which is not the right approach. They should balance it out so that they make profit as well as the passengers and citizens also can go to their hometowns to celebrate festivals with their relatives and parents and all that.
Right, so what can be done in order to ensure that fares, around the year are affordable, at least, around the year? Are there some sort of incentives that can be made available to the flyers so that even when, it's not the festive season or the holiday season, that the airlines don't suffer?
See, I think there are certain things which can be done. One is that during the festive seasons, some kind of subsidy government can think of in terms of fuel surcharges subsidies, and some states that they charge VAT on the ATF fuel. That also can be subsidized to a certain extent. So some kind of load, if state governments and central government can take it, that can give some kind of cushioning to the airlines. And second thing, during this festive season, there are a lot of foreign airlines operate to India, bringing Indians to the Indian destinations. Even they have got a lot of seating capacities. I think they can also be engaged during this period so that there is enough capacity available so that fares are not hiked disproportionately.
Right, this seasonal seesaw that we see every year, and of course, it forces some of the flyers to perhaps change their plans.
And one more point I would like to add.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
I would like to add one more point that during this festive season, government can also put some kind of cap on the price that airlines can take on.
Right. Thank you so much, sir, for speaking with us here at NDTV. Let's just also get in our caller, Major Gurdeep Singh Samra, joining us from Ludhiana. Sir, go ahead with the inconvenience that you're facing trying to book tickets during this festive season.
Divya, they have a very different view on this issue. There is it is a make hay while the sun shines, because the airline knows that now the capacities are going to be full. If the result, they'll increase the fare. It happens all the time. It is a market-driven economy. You and the ministers will keep giving bites that we are going to do this. I don't think anybody will be able to control it much. I think we'll have to accept it for till January. It is going to be like this.
Right, sir, it's very unfortunate, especially for those who can't really afford it and need to go home during the festive season from now, like you mentioned, all the way till January, whether it's Christmas, before that Diwali, Navratras are coming up, of course, Ganesh Chaturthi, that is, being celebrated across the country over the next, 5-6 days. Take us through, sir, when it comes to this period where everybody seems to be traveling because of the festivities, what are the alternatives for these people?
Alternate is basically go by train, and we have so many trains that I can go by train. I don't think airlines are going to budge this time because airlines too suffered the corona effects. We all know it very well. So many simply vanished into thin air. We'll have to face it. That is the reality of life. I think let's not make it too big an issue. It will die down after January. That's a normal thing.
Right, but it's very unfortunate, sir, for those who need to travel now, given the festivities. They want to be home with their loved ones, with their families, and they don't really have an option as to when they can travel. Thank you so much for speaking with us here on NDTV. We have another caller coming in, Captain Jaspal Singh from Rohtak. Take us through the grievances and the issues that you have in regard to this fare hike that we are seeing now, going all the way up till, perhaps January, like our previous caller mentioned.
It is total exploitation of the passengers. For the government to say that we can only caution, can't control, better quit. You have to provide control for all these people who are making merry. You can't say that we can't control you. Keep on making money. Have a gala time. We shall have brickbat and we are answerable for you. It is a very sad state of affairs. And if the government doesn't have the people who can control them and hasn't got the willpower, they will face the music in the polls. Thank you.
Right. We also have my colleague Vishnu Som joining us to get us more on this. Vishnu, when Ram Mohan Naidu had taken charge or as the aviation minister, he had gone on to say that the centre will be tackling issues such as fares which are unaffordable. But no directives can really be given by the centre to ensure that the prices remain affordable.
You're quite right. And the Air Corporation Act of 1994 has been withdrawn. Now that, and it has been withdrawn several years back. In other words, pricing for airlines in a free market economy is essentially free. However, the Director General of Civil Aviation and the Civil Aviation Ministry can try and ensure that there are no unfair practices, that there aren't a massive jump, for example, in spot fares which take place on particular days. There aren't massive jumps on particular days, particular sectors, particular time bands. There isn't a massive jump, for example, in additional services which passengers can avail. Now, in terms of statistically, whether or not there have been or there has been an increase during this festive season, yes, there has been a rise, but there has been a rise for those by and large who are booking closer to the date of travel. So there is a 10 to 15% increase for Diwali and 20 to 25% increase for flights to Kerala cities in Onam. This is according to Ixigo, which has conducted this survey. However, these are primarily on routes which are one-way fares. So in one-way fares, if you're looking to travel from X to Y and not return, then chances are that you will be paying a higher fare. However, the report also mentions that there are other sectors which have actually seen a decline in airfares as well. However, this becomes an important issue, for example, for people traveling to Kolkata from other parts of the country during the Durga Pujas, for Onam celebrations in the south, when there is only so much capacity which exists and when everybody wants to book a ticket, particularly when a ticket they need to book late. So because there are just a few tickets available, airlines do bump up their prices. This happens around the world. It does appear to be quite unfair to passengers who want to go back to their loved ones. But that, unfortunately, is the way it works, not just in India, but around the world.
Vishnu, we see that around the year as well, right? If we book tickets just closer to time, we end up paying much more than we would pay if we book in advance. And that's something we're seeing now. But obviously, this is even higher prices that, flyers will have to perhaps reconsider the mode of transportation.
I will tell you, Divya, they will have to reconsider. It's not an option. If you can't afford an airfare on the date of travel, then you have to find another way of getting there, whether it's a train, bus, or what have you. But I do believe, and just to reflect a little bit on what one of your earlier callers said, that this could potentially become a political issue in this country. Why? Air travel in India is growing exponentially. We are one of the largest aviation markets in the world, with all the major aircraft manufacturers see this as being perhaps the brightest spark anywhere. And given the number of people who are traveling in India at this stage, if there is something like airfares going up dramatically, then it might well become a political issue for our political parties to look at whether or not anything can be done. So free market and what the rules say and whether there are laws which prevent this sort of thing versus looking after your political constituency and in the process looking after the needs of passengers traveling. This is going to be a key debate, I suggest, in the years ahead.
Absolutely, and with the government there, saying that they had a 100-day action plan with the new civil aviation minister, planning to tackle issues such as these, particularly high airfares. But the centre there's been no plan that has been implemented, because no directive can be given by the centre in order to ensure the affordability when it comes to prices, because the demand is high during the festive season. Airfares are dynamic, and thus the rise. We have Pradeep calling us from Bandra in Mumbai. Pradeep, take us through the issues that you're facing while trying to book tickets during this festive season.
Actually, this is a recurring problem over the years because every festive season we face this exorbitant fares. So I was wondering, why can't the government fix some maximum rate which the airlines can charge? So, because we have cases where Delhi, Jaipur flights have been sold out for 30,000. So why can't there be justification for the rates and the fixing of some maximum rate beyond which the airlines should not be charging? Thank you.
Absolutely. We have Sunil Kohli also joining us from Delhi. Take us through your reaction to, the centre there coming down heavily on the airlines, but only making a plea in order to keep the tickets affordable.
Hello.
Sunil, right. We have Vipul Saxena, aviation expert, still with us. Sir, thank you for staying on. When we talk about affordability during this festive season, if one really has to, go somewhere, hadn't planned that trip earlier, maybe it's an emergency, what kind of alternative can one have in these kind of situations and circumstances?
No, I think there's one more thing which needs to be done is that certain seats should be reserved for the emergency people, and also we've been seeing all this while that there are so many cancellations, and during festive season also there are so many cancellations. At that time, somebody should not get stuck that he cannot go despite booking flight, he cannot go home. So even there should be some kind of interconnecting between the flights, where suppose if a flight of an airline is say cancelled, their passengers should be accommodated by other airlines. So some kind of this arrangement had to be done, and also there should be some kind of capping of the fares needs to be done, so that it is affordable to the passenger, and also airlines can make whatever profit they are targeting at, because they also run through some losses during the off seasons. I agree with that point, but then it cannot be exorbitantly charged fare, which is cannot be afforded by the passengers in normal case. And especially when Prime Minister Modi has been promising that he wants that every person with the Hawaii Chappal also should be able to fly. So with that kind of motto in mind, vision in mind, I think Civil Aviation Minister's proactive action should give some kind of hope, some kind of real result this time, so that passengers and citizens can go to their hometowns to celebrate the festivals without paying through their noses.
Given the fact, if there is an incentive, if the prices are in fact, not hiked during this festive season, don't you think more people would get to travel on flights and not having to look for alternative routes? Wouldn't that be a win-win situation? Wouldn't it be a win-win situation if prices weren't hiked and a lot more people would be traveling in this particular phase, going from now all the way till January, like you mentioned, given that it's the festive season, if the prices weren't hiked and the flyers did not have to look for an alternative route?
Yeah, I agree with you. There are places which are not making profit during other season, but during this seasons, even those routes, low profit routes also will be making profit. So I think whatever negative numbers airlines have been tolerating during certain non seasonal time, I think those are also covered in this period.
Right, they're trying to make up for their losses while the sun shines, of course. We also have Sunil Kohli from Delhi, caller who's joining us. Sunil, take us through your reaction of this hike in fares that we are seeing just ahead of the festive season.
This is actually a recurring issue over the years, and I was always wondering why the government can't fix a maximum rate which they can't charge. Mere issuing advices won't work. Because my own daughter paid 50,000 last year coming from Bombay to Delhi. So I think there is a high time that government comes in a stricter manner and at least fix the maximum they can charge. Because hapless consumers have to are at the mercy of these airlines. So that's not fair, I think. Thank you, ma'am.
Right. Thank you so much, Sunil Kohli, for speaking with us here on NDTV. So, of course, the centre there, asking the airlines to keep the prices affordable, saying that they're keeping an eye as far as the inflation in prices is concerned during this festive season, because there is a high demand, which is why, given the fact that the prices are dynamic, thus we see a rise in the airfares during this festive season. So, let's just see if there's some sort of solution that can really come about, because the centre also has gone on to say they can only ask the airlines in order to make it affordable, but they can't really enforce such an action on the airlines. Moving on now to more news coming in, and this is in regard to the Kolkata rape and horror case. Do remember that today marks 1 month since that incident, that horrific, brutal incident that took place at the RG Kaur Medical College and hospital. The Supreme Court has asked tough questions to the government of Bengal. They've asked how could this incident take place when there were thousands of CCTV cameras, also questioning the Bengal government to update the court at the very soonest, and asking for steps to be taken. In fact, they've asked for a fresh report from the CBI, and they've given a time till, given a week's time for the CBI to submit its fresh report. To remember that the CBI had submitted its status report in a sealed envelope to the bench